Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Realnesss with 3 S's. I'm your host here, Chantele Francis. Up top with me today, we have Michelle. How are you, Michelle?
Oh, I'm great. How are you?
I'm pretty great. Wednesday is my favorite day. I actually forgot that it was Wednesday because, I don't know, everything was all discombobulated. It was 3 minutes to 8 o'clock, and I was like, whoa, it's the challenge. And how are you, Fanta? Down here?
I kind of had that feeling too. I woke up this morning and I was like, something is different about this day. And then I was like, it's challenge day.
It's the challenge day.
I had the opposite effect where I was so bored all day just waiting for the episode. I started watching The Crown and I was like, I just need the challenge. I honestly was so bored waiting for it. So I'm really it was so satisfying to finally watch the juice.
Well, it's also really satisfying when you forget about it and you're like, oh my God, it's on right now and I'm ready for it. So I was just like, where's my notebook? Okay, let's go for it. So I'm really happy to be talking with you ladies, of course, about the challenge. What is it? Episode 5, Skyfall. And if this is your first time on Realnesss, well then welcome. We are definitely happy to have you. Please subscribe if you haven't done so already and join us in the chat because we love to chat to you guys. So, Fanta, overall thoughts of this episode?
I had a lot of fun this episode. I was really annoyed at a lot of people. Not a lot of people, but 2 people. And I like the way that the rookies are playing. I like how it's not just as of a straight kind of shooter season as it usually is.
And Michelle, thoughts?
It was a great episode. A little sad for obvious reasons, but things made up for it, honestly. I couldn't have asked for a better episode after last week. It was such great karma. Such great karma.
And Adrian is in the house. Hi, Adrian. Can we talk about this episode with you two? Oh, yeah. And you too, Fanta.
Well, thank you.
We also have here and Nighty. Liz, okay, so Liz is a new subscriber in December, but the first time I can comment live. Yes, so excited. She loves us, but we love you here as well, Liz. We love talking about the challenge, and we're happy to hear what you guys have to say about this episode. Okay, so I really enjoyed this episode. I think that we might have difference of opinion on how it kind of went down. Feeling wise, but I'm definitely excited to talk about it. We started off with the song Burning Down the House. Burning Down the House.
I am loving the music this season. It just makes you so happy.
It's cool to the next level, honestly.
Yeah. Get the soundtracks, you know what I mean? Be like, yeah, just we can relive this episode. Yes. I definitely was excited to hear that music coming in. Was there a little prelude? Because usually they're like last week, I think it was, Tori was like, did they have one of those today?
Yeah, they had a previously on.
No, but you know how Tori last week or the week before was like, if you want to see a blind side, stay tuned. And they just have one person say a little thing to the camera.
No, there wasn't that. It was just on.
Okay, I was looking for it, but I didn't see it, and I wasn't sure if I just had missed it. But it just starts off pretty much with a bang, with Fessy having to basically fess up to why he's such a shitty friend. Yeah, Michelle, what are your thoughts about A, how Fessy handled himself, B, Corey kind of coming for him, and C, everybody else kind of laughing at the situation?
Yeah, I mean, we all knew it was coming, obviously. I think it's interesting because everything that's going on with social media. So I guess we'll get to that in the gossip section. I don't know how we're going to tie it in, but there's been a lot that's been said over the past week on social media regarding Fessy's decisions, the details of what happened. It's been a lot of back and forth. And so it was just really funny to see the scene because immediately Fessy has to be the person who obviously there was reasons behind this because I was going to lose a friend either way. All these illogical things, but it's your main alliance is supposed to be Nelson and Corey, or at least they think it is. So you're just admitting that you see your big brother people like Josh as equal to them anyway. but even less equal because you threw yourself in with the potential of Nelson going home. Like, anyways, it was great to see Corey at least say something and stand up for his friend. Like, you know, that was great. The latest I've heard on social media is that Fessy has now apologized for, like, agrees he shouldn't have done it. But at the same time, I'm not going to, like, regret, you know, going for something for $1 million or whatever. But, like, if I could go back, I wouldn't make the same decision. Even though he spent the whole week justifying his decision and being like, I don't read comments, but here's all my feedback to the comments. And I'm so great, and here's all the reasons. And then now he's flipped it around because he's had hate all week. So
much hate.
Anyways, that's my thoughts.
Well, Fanta, I would like you to maybe chime in on your thoughts of when Josh decided to insert himself into this fight. I thought you'd have a good perspective on this.
I feel like I'm Josh's corner for every episode. I was like, oh my God, you always find some way to make this about you. This is not about you at all. Nobody cares if you wanted to go in. Quote unquote, for people who are listening.
Because the rumor is he didn't want to go in, and he did tell Tori, don't throw me in. But then it was, once it was physical.
I can't with him. Like some like beast. Was it physical? So like I was gonna go in, I was gonna go up to Nelson, I was gonna take him. Like,
absolutely. And the thing that like had me cracking up was because like Fessy having that argument with Corey, I was like, this is so dumb because obviously Fessy doesn't have a leg to stand on. But I was like, the funny thing that Fessy said, like the reason why I laughed out loud, he was like, dude, like you never go in, like you never want to go in. So like, what are you talking about? Like, this is a non-issue. Like, you never want to go in.
That was a fair point.
I was laughing.
Oh, yeah, I was totally cackling.
Natalie says that she thinks that Nelson would have beat Josh in the overall. You think so?
Nelson almost beat Fessy in round 1.
Yeah.
He only lost by a split second, and if he hadn't destroyed his face in the sand, he would have had a really good chance. Like, beating Josh would have been simple, I think, for Nelson.
Oh, for sure. Nelson is like...
Hi, Sam.
Hi, Sam. Nelson is really good at eliminations. And yeah, if Fessy hadn't played like super dirty / scared, I think Nelson could have easily won against Fessy. Not easily, but could have won against him.
Yeah, and so a lot of people have been commenting on where is the line supposed to be drawn with MTV saying like no to dirty playing. Like it's like they watched Fessy play dirty and then just commented about it the next time around. Like, shouldn't there be a little more accountability from the rules standpoint? Like, where do you guys both sit in that regard?
I do agree. Personally, it's tough. I mean, back in the day, it was kind of similar. Like, they would push the rules and then it would be like, oh, you can't do that, you know? I wish there was a point where it was very obvious, and I wish TJ had been like, stop, we're resetting. Like, that would have been nice. I don't know. I think they could be a little bit more stricter about what is allowed and isn't allowed, and a little more clear about that, because this is how people get really, really hurt, as we saw with like the Jay Rogan situation, you know. So I think there's definitely some work that could be done in that department.
Well, it's when the audience is like, like they don't want to watch. Like, it's not, that's the line should be drawn there. Like, I didn't want to see him break his arm. I didn't want to see him get sand in his eyes. It's just like dirty play like that isn't entertaining for me, you know? And I don't feel like it's a fair fight, which you want to see a fair fight. And even if it's not balanced size-wise, like you want to see someone really be able to try their hardest and do well without like having sand in their eyes. So I would like there to be some clarity on the production side of things as to really what's allowed, because like clearly people can't just take being a good competitor and having a clean, honest fight. They don't take that into consideration. So maybe we should start a petition or something. I love T in this episode being like, ooh, Fessy's in trouble. Like, he's just trolling everybody. I think that now that he's not in the hot seat anymore, I think he loves the fact that, like, nobody's really looking at him. He's just, like, by himself with Big T, and he gets to watch all the drama without really being in it. So I'm liking where he's standing right now. But Corey's mad and he's looking for revenge. Do you, Fanta, think that he's going to be able to get his revenge on Fessy?
I wish, but honestly, no. Corey is not really a strategic kind of guy. So he's just usually all talk. And, like ever since his debut, he was saying, we're going to overthrow these guys. We're going to do this. We're going to do that. And he's never come to do what he said to do. So unless he links up with somebody who is really, really, really gung-ho about getting rid of Fessy, who is a better strategist than him. So maybe if he links up with Devin and someone else, they'll need someone else. It can't just be him and Devin. I think it's possible.
It's like slightly possible. So Tori, though, like in this fight, she was defending her decision, saying that, like, no, Josh, you said that, like, you didn't want to go in. And, like, she was like, I'm everybody's savior here. And I guess it's what's really interesting about it is the fact that there's an undertone of Tori and Fessy's relationship blossoming. What's the look for, Michelle? Go on.
Oh, I mean, the main comment is like later on with Fessy, which obviously we'll get to, but just the way she was like, yeah, I already like knew I was going to hurt a friend by like helping out, doing this, and like kind of gestured towards Fessy. Like as if it was like a known fact that she was going to be helping him. Like it was this weird thing. Like, I don't know. Fessy, it was pretty clear, especially by the end, that Fessy was into it and thinks it's something more than it is. Maybe like, I think maybe Tori, like in the moment, is like, yeah, sure, but like, I don't think it's the connection that he thinks it is. Maybe I'm wrong.
I'm not sure. I haven't seen, like, I saw the more last episode having a little bit of kind of chemistry or whatever between them, but like I didn't really see it in this episode specifically. And then Josh is like complaining to Tori, and he's like, Devin, go away, go get out of here. And I'm just like, he's so annoying. I just can't deal with him anymore. Do you think that we're gonna have a full season of Josh, or is he finally just gonna get thrown in against somebody and go home?
I regret to inform you that I do believe we are probably going to get a full season of Josh. I feel like there's just so much other like things that are happening. I feel like there's just like a rookie uprising, which I feel will kind of like take precedence for a bit. But I just find that people don't take Josh seriously at all. And I find that when people don't take other competitors seriously, they're able to last in the game longer.
For sure. And
you can obviously just eliminate him at any time or never give him a chance to get a skull.
Aren't they sick of him though? I'm so sick of him.
Yeah.
I would not be able to do a day with Josh.
No. I don't know how Nani does it. I don't know how Tori does it, apparently. I don't know. But we're talking about people that are being underestimated here. And so we have Gabby, Big T, Amber, other Amber, all kind of coming together with having a disdain, we'll say, for Tori and Anissa. And I was like, spaghetti-o. Big T wants to take out one of these big targets and put them against each other. You are nodding and you're really for this move right now, fam. Tell me more about your feelings about this.
I just got so excited when those rookies came together because I was like, oh my gosh, this is like one of the first times where they have like really come together. And I mean, we see later in the episode, Kyle makes a mention about, oh my God, they're actually smart. And I love that. I love the Gabby dynamic. I love the Big T dynamic. I love how they're thinking ahead. And there's a lot of people who are vets, quote unquote vets, that are not thinking as strategically as they are. And that's what matters.
Well, we're gonna say something.
I just said cough, cough, Tori.
Oh, Tori is right. So, yes, I do like the underestimated faction coming together and sanction. Anyways, group of people coming together and seeing that there's these two people that are underestimating them. They want to just throw them in. They don't care about who they are, or their vote, or what they're capable of. So I get it. Like having the resistance come together, like great. But I guess we'll get probably more into it. I didn't like Amber M's kind of stance there. She bothered me the most out of all. Like I liked Big T like being like, let's do this, and even Gabby being like, why am I being underestimated? But there's something about, for me, the way that Amber was, getting all puffing out her chest. It bothered me. It rubbed me the wrong way. How did you feel, Michelle?
I mean, I get it. Yeah, I get she was a little bit ruder about it. I think she was just more offended because she was the number one person people are saying is like the weakest. And I just think, I mean, based on what I've seen from her on Are You the One, she's not one to back away from being called out. So I think hearing her name specifically coming out of Tori's mouth, she just was like, here's my storyline. Let me make a big deal out of this. Let me get some airtime. Let me get some confessionals going. You know what I mean? Stay relevant.
I disagree with you, Chantele. I really liked that Amber was like, what? Screw you. I liked that. I liked that she was puffing out her chest.
You, but I was like annoyed by her in her confessionals. I was rolling my eyes.
So we disagree.
Part of me that was like, well, okay, yes, maybe Tori shouldn't be so open, being like, we're so much better than you. We're rookies. Like, I'm stronger. We're bigger. And we can just take you out, whatever. So I get it, not wanting to be on the other side of that. But I do also feel as though they haven't actually shown that they're these big competitors. They haven't shown that they are going to be able to go down there and get their skull. And so I do see slightly, though, where Tori's coming from, where it's like, I don't know what you're capable of. And Anissa was also saying this in the deliberation portion, that well, until you've done something and go down against one of us, we're not going to really know what you're capable of. And we're going to underestimate you until that happens.
Okay. So I agree with that, but that's not how Tori was doing it. Tori has straight up been giving me a headache for the past 3 episodes, and she has been underperforming since World of Worlds 2. She is not in the position to really be saying this, that sort of thing about people when she's been underperforming in a massive way for a few seasons now.
Especially under pressure. When she's under pressure, she can't do it.
Yeah, especially under pressure. And I just, that mixed along with
think that Amber M has watched any of the other seasons of Tori to know that she's been underperforming for the last few seasons? No.
But she knows that she hasn't won. And Amber's whole thing is you haven't even won one. So don't hate on me until you're a challenge champion. Okay.
Well, that's her bar is you're allowed to hate on me if you're a champion, but if you're not, you can't. I guess then that's fine. But I just found her annoying.
I see what you're saying. I think that Tori this episode out annoyed me over Amber. And I'm saying it here first, folks. I'm over Tori. I'm done.
We've all been kind of over Tori. We haven't really talked that highly about her this episode, and I'm still not talking highly about her. I don't think that she politically handled herself in this game very well at all, especially since there's so many people that she doesn't know. You don't want to have anybody to have reason to gang up together and go against you. You want to make friends with the other side, make friends with the rookies, and then be but I still want to take you out and go down there and get my skull. Fine, but kind of keep your enemies closer. I think it would have been a stronger way to maneuver this season. But I think that she was just trying to make people scared of her so that she would have the power to put herself in against whomever she wants, as opposed to them gaining power and then throwing her in. I don't think that she thought that that was going to be an option, that one of them was going to get power and make this move. So yes, Burks. Hi, Burks. Burks says the Tori train seemed to have crashed and burned. Yeah, she hasn't been doing great in the last little while. Not at all. So Paul, hi Paul, says this was just such a good episode. Amber B confessionals. Was there an Amber B confessional?
Not that I recall. I would remember.
There might have been one.
I would have written it down. I would have been like, Amber B confessional. There's definitely a couple Darrell confessionals.
I was so happy to be Darrell.
I know, finally. I may have missed like a couple snippets, so it is possible. Paul might know better than we do.
That's possible too, because it was confusing for a second. Big T and CT relationship as a team, love it. Egos being exposed, true. And Ashley's back too. Yes, you were pretty much like rounded that up. Definitely. I like this episode though, on a whole, for sure. What happens next? So yeah, Big T wants a big player out of this game, a player with experience gone. So Fessy and Casey are public enemy number one, but not actually according to the rookies, we'll say, which I think is interesting, that they're not playing into that hand. I am happy that they're coming together and having their own agenda to get themselves further in the game against people that they're more likely able to beat. So, okay, so Big T has a little moment with CT, and then she talks to him about her plan of kind of wanting to go against, that they're not liking Tori and I guess Anissa in that sense too. I didn't see that whole conversation, so can either of you remind me of what happened?
They were just like really cute. Again, their weird like non-flirty flirtiness, which we're like super into. Yeah, and essentially she was just like, Tori's, issues with Tori, of course. I want to have two big players to go against each other, and it makes sense to have Anissa go against her because they are friends, but she wants to make sure that Anissa gets thrown in by the votes so that she doesn't have to throw in Anissa, she can throw in Tori, kind of thing.
Natalie, yeah. Well, I think that what's happened is that Tori, she started strong. Like her and Cam came in at these two rookies that were pretty badass. They were winning a lot. And in their rookie seasons, they were both really, really strong. And I think that Tori hasn't really kept up that, but she's kept up the attitude of being such a strong competitor. And it's been rubbing people the wrong way. And then I think with what's been going on her relationship wise, she kind of dates somebody in MTV world and then starts kind of dating someone else right after. And so I think that people that may be really liked her with Jordan together may not be liking the fact that she's already with somebody else. Like, I just think that they just are following her story and they're just not particularly enjoying it right now. I don't know. What do you guys have any other thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of a huge thing. She's just not really that fun to watch. I just don't really find that she adds much to the show. Don't really care for her confessionals. Her performance in dailies and in eliminations have not been good for a long time. So all of those things mixed together kind of just make for a dud.
It's true. Wait, what's Liz saying here? Liz, it was Fessy in Hall Deck saying previously on the challenge. Okay, I didn't see that. Okay. I like seeing those because it's like they're usually kind of cheesy and it was it's funny. And Josh always looks like a tool, Liz. This is, I don't know if there is a Josh Stan podcast, but this
I would love to go to the other dimension where Josh is cool.
Well, not gonna lie though, Ika loves Josh.
Yeah, but you can love like parts of his big brother journey.
Okay. I wanted him to win. I did.
Yeah, because he was against Paul. I would have wanted like a dirty sock to win against Paul. Are you kidding?
I know, I wish I was baseball, please. Josh is literally that guy that jumps into a physical fight every damn time. Yeah, it's annoying. I wonder if they're like always kind of drunk, and maybe he's just like a bad drunk that like just like gets into shouting matches with people. I was just like, I'm just never into him. I hope that his time here is done soon. I'm not sure.
I think it will be, and I think he's made a post about how his behavior this season. He's like, after one or second of his fights or something, he made a post being like, it's going to be really hard for me to watch this season. I was in a bad place, which as we know, he like always says he's in a bad place, but maybe, I don't know. Okay, I actually have no ending to this because I don't know. I see the same pattern repeating, but like maybe he's done some like personal work after this season, you know?
Well, since we're talking about Josh, Burke says, today was the first time Josh made him laugh. I'm assuming it's a him laugh. As soon as he was agreeing with Corey, I saw the look on his face and knew he was about to make it about him. I was dying. I mean, I did actually, I clocked that moment too. I was like, oh, it's coming. He's getting ready to get up. He's excited.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know if I laughed though, but. So Burke says Cam gets hate for being cocky, but Tori hasn't received it till today, but she's been cocky for no reason. I don't think that's true. I think we kind of also said that, but I think people were more offended when we said that Cam was cocky. But what do you shake your head for, Fanta?
No, because I have just disliked Tori for like a couple of seasons now.
We've been saying that she hasn't. I think in our draft last for 35, you picked her. Was that how it was? And like I was like,
Yeah, I thought maybe like that would have like, you know, continued, but then she's just
honestly, she used to be one of my favorites on Dirty 30 and everything, and I liked her and I did root for her, but yeah, the past at least 2 seasons, I've just found her way more false. And I agree, especially in this episode, we see how much more cocky. It's also about the editing, right? Think about how it's been edited. Perhaps they showed more of Cam's cocky moments in the clips than they did of Tori's until now. Like we don't, you know, so much of it is based on that kind of stuff as well. But definitely like Tori's been digging herself a hole for a while.
Yeah. I also find a lot of people will be like, oh, like you guys don't. I like Cam. I do. I just want to see more of her doing stuff instead of talking. But I much prefer Cam. Like I like Cam's personality. She has a personality. It's not like Little Miss Tori Chameleon where you just don't really know where she stands with anything or what her personality is. But like Cam is much more entertaining and a better bet as a competitor.
And Cam's more genuine. Like, you know, you know who she roots for.
And yeah, definitely she's more rootable between the two of them. Like if they were both going up in elimination, I'd be rooting for Cam 100%. You know what I mean?
Oh, for sure.
Like 100%. And just throwing a little shade here, Burke says, glad Sylvia, Jenna, Anissa, Big T, and the rookies humbled her. She doesn't get humbled though. She doesn't, because like she should have gotten humbled by Jenna last season, and then like she still didn't. And
that was even like Jenna's 100%.
No, it wasn't. And honestly, Tori, once again, bad strategy. You pulled on that rope. Anyways, we'll get to it.
Yeah.
For the first time, he agreed about what Fessy said about Josh. Yes, we agree to Josh just never wants to go in ever. Now, not that this was a surprise, but Devin starts having confessionals being like he wants to throw Tori in. He doesn't care about losing her as a partner. What do you guys feel about this? I know Devin is a polarizing character. Some people love him. Some people hate him. I personally love to hate him. Michelle?
I mean, he's on my team. I like want him to go far. I don't think he'll ever be able to actually win, but he's been mildly entertaining this season. And yeah, like it makes sense. Like he's like the fact that he's like, I don't care. Like I want to get rid of her, even though she's still kind of like a strongish person. He's just like, yeah, like I want to fuck her over and I want to make sure she goes home to the person that I want her to go home against. Like, great. It's funny to me. Like, that's the whole concept of double agents, being partners with someone, but you know they don't have to be your partner in the end. And you don't have to rely on them for elimination. So really, like, what is their use to you?
And I guess what I like about it as well is just the fact that, like, she really has no clue that any of this, I mean, she does have the clue that the rookies might throw her in, like, because her and Anissa do start strategizing a little bit, being like getting a little bit worried. But the fact that, like, Devin is just ready to, like, just push her over the edge, it's so brutal, but it's kind of good. I feel bad, but it's good. Fanta?
Oh my God, it's so bad. It's the best. And like Michelle said, that's what it is. It's double agents. And it also makes it more entertaining for us to watch.
Yes.
Like, the more backstabbing, throwing under the bus there is, the more fun it is to watch, because it also makes the game more difficult for each individual person to play.
Yeah, exactly. And it is fun to watch. But I know people are probably hating on poor Devin. Like, people take Devin too seriously. You just gotta have to just laugh at his antics, you know? Like, just don't feed that flame. He's pretty funny and he's smart. So just, like, let him do his thing instead of being offended by it, personally. But, you know.
Yeah.
He's in the house. Hi, Blaine. Happy New Year. How are we doing tonight? We are good. Obviously, we loved this episode, or this season so far. The season's really been very good. 5 very solid episodes. I think all of these episodes will rival anything of last season. Like, I'm
1,000%, like 1,000%. I'm already much happier. Even with people I like going home sometimes.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Yeah, that's so true. I've really been like, it's been hard for me, like, because I've found that there's been more eliminations this season other than any other season where I've been like, oh, actually, I don't know who I want to go home.
Yep.
This person, if they stay, they've got all of these qualities. So yeah, it's been tough, where usually it's pretty clear cut for me for who I want to go home.
It's true. So Liz is saying CT killed me this episode. Like, I love CT. Like, he's playing the confessionals perfectly. I love that he's like, I know he wants to win, but, like, there's still a carefreeness about the way that he plays the game. There's no real desperation. Like, it's just kind of light. I enjoy his journey in this game. And yeah, he definitely was great this episode. So the next part, you see them all walking up to the daily, and we see TJ, and he's like, okay, I'm going to have to, well, wait, must deactivate one of our agents? And I'm like, whoa, what's happening? One of them is no longer cleared to go on in this game, and it was frickin' Natalie. WTF? Do you guys have any tea? Yes, Michelle.
I do. So she had to leave because she found out she was pregnant, but then she got home and she ended up actually having a miscarriage. So yeah, she definitely was upset, and really, there's an article that came out tonight actually. And she's definitely hoping to come back, because we can see her lifting every day in her Instagram stories. She's a beast times a gazillion. But yeah, that's the reason that she left. I think because of what happened with Melissa, they obviously want to be safer and want to make sure no one's pregnant doing a final. And Natalie Ovs would have made the final. She had a clear-cut streak to the end. I was very upset. But yeah, she has to take care of her, you know?
Now, my question is, though, wouldn't they have found this out before they left?
It's possible they wouldn't have shown until then. Like, I don't know. I don't know how that works.
Consistently do pregnancy tests?
Well, they probably have to do like a drug test, and I'm sure like the comprehensive runs everything. So I'm sure maybe
it wouldn't have shown up yet, right? Like, if she got pregnant right before she left, got tested, and it wasn't showing up yet, because sometimes it takes like a week or two, right, to show up on a pregnancy test.
And also, I mean, like, all the labs are backed up with corona tests, I'm sure. So it's not, I don't know that. I'm not a doctor.
I mean, it's a fair point, though. Oh my God, though, that's like,
I was so sad. I was like, why? Somebody tell me why. This is horrible. I was like, I don't remember seeing anyone getting in a fight. What happened? Who cheated?
I know. At first I was like, wait. What? I thought it was going to be like something controversial someone said or did. Like, I was ready for something crazy.
or like ruling on the Fessy fight, being like he did something even additionally extra dirty or something. Like that's the direction that I thought it was going to go. And I was like, I was so bummed. She's my number one girl pick. And I really wanted to see her do well. What are you smiling at, Fanta?
It's not on my team, so.
And I mean, you got a good trade-off, Queen, because
she was on mine anyways, wasn't she?
Yeah, but you got someone back who was also on your team.
That's true.
Yeah,
it's true. But like, still, though, I wanted to see how well she was able to do. So hopefully she's taking care of herself, her body. I hope she's healing from this, because I know that a lot of women, this can be really traumatic for them. And so hopefully she's getting the help she needs there in order for her to be in the mindset to be able to come back, hopefully for future seasons. So sending lots of love to Natalie. We are Natalie stands here. Valley Realnesss. Yes. So that really was not what I thought was going to be the reason. Oh, so sad. So Drastic Time calls for drastic measures, and someone is coming back. The first person that I thought was going to be Ashley.
Yeah.
No way that she was shipped all the way back to the United States. I'm sure she was staying in quarantine there until the season ends, because she's done all of her testing. She's done, she's been on the show and just kind of being a backup or reserve kind of position. So I thought it was going to be Ashley here. Did you guys surprised by this at all?
Once it was a girl gone, I was like, it only makes sense because she's the only girl who's actually left from elimination so far, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Every other girl has left because of what other reasons. So I was like, it makes sense to bring her back. Also, Ashley all day on her Instagram story was like, hey guys, I'll be starting my Patreon live after the episode tonight. I'm like, why is she doing that? And the preview was something happening. And I'm like, some people were like, Cara's here, Johnny's here. And I'm like, why would Ashley care about this? So she kind of gave it away a little bit, I think.
Probably a little bit, getting excited about her return to the
I was pumped. Yes, Ashley. She deserves a second chance.
Those are some big confessionals to get back.
Yep.
Yes.
Corey and Ashley are now going to be paired together. What do you guys think about this pair up?
Well, I love Corey's comment where he was just like, I think I'm pumped. Like, I don't know what Ashley I'm gonna get. I don't know if I'm gonna get like Puzzle Ashley or like, what was the other Ashley that he said?
I don't remember.
I can't remember, but I love how he like did like the angel and devil versions of Ashley and was like, I don't know, like, but I thought it was fitting.
And I want her to come back for sure. Like, I wouldn't have cared if Nicole got fit to perform or live. Like, I wouldn't have cared if either of them came back. So she's the only person that was like, okay, this will be interesting. Yeah, they wanted her out, they got her out, but they didn't. So I kind of like her being able to come back and be like, F you, it didn't work at all.
Yeah.
So, Natalie said to Cam and Josh steal, I guess is what the word is, Fessy's shirt. Do we know what we're talking about here? And then Liz says, Tori said on her and Anissa's podcast that Josh told her not to put him in and that he was going to make drama when she didn't.
Yeah, it was definitely, the rumor is that it definitely was a whole plan the whole time that he was going to not go in and then make a scene. But like, honestly, I don't know. You never know with Josh. It's all TV plans.
Right? Yes, Natalie, Josh I think he is getting hate, but there has to be other podcasts that are Josh stans. I feel like so I like watching this other podcast, Jolene, and she does, I think the challenge anyways, I think that there are people that like his antics and think that he's entertaining. And I'm just like, I guess they're not challenge fans. I don't think it's possible. What's Adrian? Some shade here. So Adrian says, hey, Fanta, Josh is definitely a Gemini if he is, that I shouldn't hang out with. I actually don't think he's a Gemini. I think he's a Capricorn.
I was like, oh my God, that's my literal worst nightmare combination. Josh and
Gemini? Yeah. Josh is, let's find out. I feel like he's a Capricorn. Yeah, he's a Capricorn, January 4th. But one thing that I forgot to mention a couple weeks ago, I think there's either 2 or 3 people that have the same last names. Frig, I wish I had it with me, but like there's 3 different sets of people that have the same last name, and it never gets brought up, but I didn't friggin' think about it until right now. Can you look it up, Michelle, the cast list? Because I think that like Amber and Josh have the same last name. Like there's 3 different people that have the same last names. Just, for curious sake. Yeah, rookie ladies coming together. Fine.
Martinez.
It's a cute name. That's a cute name. I wonder how tall Gabby is.
Josh Martinez.
Josh Martinez.
Yeah, Amber and Josh have the same last name.
I think there's either at least another set. There might be 2 other sets of people have the same last name. Someone white and someone black. I think there was one as well. Yeah, there's 3. Like, someone's last name Price. Like 2 people with last name Price or something.
Weird.
Anyways, I thought it was really bizarre that, they weren't related. So Paul says, honestly, I don't think that Tori is good strategically. She's always been a player that relied on her strength. I mean, on World of World 2, she lost because of a puzzle. Yes, we do know that Tori's never given herself credit for being a strategic mastermind at all. She always is like, I'm Braun. Like she's taller, she's bigger, she works out. So that's what she's always been relying on. So yes, I agree with you for sure, Paul. And this is what Fanta likes, Liz.
Josh's name is also Martinez.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Fuck.
Josh Martinez and Amber Martinez, correct?
Yeah.
And then look up someone from like the Brits.
I'm reading them all, and there's nothing.
There is. I'll find it. At one point. Show you guys. Liz says Amber M is making a case to return no matter how her placement in the game is. I mean, yeah, her being feisty. Go ahead.
I found it. It's Joseph Allen and Gabby Allen.
Okay. And I think there's still one more, but I could be wrong.
Yeah, I honestly, like, Amber M doesn't bother me at all. And I'm curious to see her in an elimination. Like, I'm kind of indifferent. Like, if she leaves, I don't really care, but I also don't mind that she's there, but I also would rather have her over Tori. So.
See, I mean, I don't know. She's just annoying me. Agent Down, though, is the daily for today. So Darrell was talking about height shock. Michelle, you're tall. Is there such thing as height shock? I didn't look it up. He said look it up.
I definitely get height shock, though. Yeah, for sure. I hate heights, especially unstable heights. Definitely. I just think it means your legs lock and then you can't walk or do anything.
Fanta, I don't know do you like heights? Do you like roller coasters? Where do you stand here?
I don't love heights, but I will do, I've gone skydiving before. But I would never go bungee jumping. And there's certain challenges that would that would freak me out. I feel like the fall would really freak me out. And I also don't really I don't know. I'm weird about heights. If I had to do it, I'll do it. I like roller coasters. Skydiving's cool. I would do it again. Michelle's like, ugh.
Okay. I'm going sad lines here.
I don't mind heights. I don't think I'd be scared, but I wouldn't freeze up. I can still perform with heights because whatever I do is some weird laugh at the fact that I'm kind of scared and it's really dangerous. I don't know. I don't allow it to stop me from doing it, but I just kind of laugh in the moment. So I think I'd be okay. But I mean, I've never done what they've had to do here. So they basically have the women are kind of on a ledge and they're kind of holding on. And then the men have to pull this rope out of some big contraption that's up in the air. Once they get to a certain part on the rope, then they can go and hold onto their partner. And at a certain point, then TJ releases the floor that the women are standing on. So at the beginning, they're not really holding on, right? They're just like
they're like gripping on around the edge of that platformy part, I think.
But like they're not going to go anywhere if they like until the actual
thing drops.
Yeah.
I thought this was a good challenge. I thought it was like it was interesting enough. It showed people's strengths, which I like being able to see how well people do. We could see who fell when. So it gave us a good idea of people's strengths here, which I liked, of course. So what did you think about the first round? Who was it that came out on top? It was
Jay and Teresa.
So Jay's considered to be, they're always like, oh, he's the smallest guy here. We're so impressed that he finished his rope part first, and then he was able to go and hold on to Teresa first. He impressed me here. Fanta, I know you gave some thumbs up. What are you thinking?
This is a Jay is King podcast, if you did not know. I love Jay, and he blew me away today. I was like, this is so amazing. He's like, this is like light work for him. He probably could have like kept going, but he felt like it was long enough. He's just so wonderful. Like, I love him. I love him so much, and I just really want him to continue to do well.
Me too. And Michelle.
And he's also so sweet and just like great with Teresa.
I think they're a really good partnership for sure. But Michelle, what did you feel about Nam saying that he's his best friend in the house, Jay, and he's sitting there beside him, like cheering him on?
I know, like such a perfect partnership or like friendship to have blossomed. Like Nam, of all the guys, rookies, is clearly like such a front runner. The fact that he's like not a target to anyone right now is insane to me. Like he is meant to do this type of thing. And yeah, he was so cute. He was happy for him. Jay has amazing grip, which that kind of thing, it's all about grip. Yeah, it's arm strength too.
The forearms and like.
But this is the whole thing is I was thinking to myself, I was like, okay, well, like people like Fessy and CT are larger and have smaller people who are smaller than them compared to some of the other girls. So like it should be easy, but also could be hard because like the more mass you have, then it's still harder, right, to hold as long. I don't know. Well, yeah. I think it just really showed the contrast between CT and Fessy's performance. That like Fessy didn't care about winning it because in his mind, a girl's day, and also he's not strong like he says.
Yeah, you're right. Like that's very true. There's grip has a massive. It's a massive component to that because think about all of the guys who do climbing. Like they're not huge, jacked guys,
but they can hold their body weight with their fingertips.
Yeah, and that's nothing to sneeze at. And I just had such a laugh when Fessy couldn't hack this challenge. I had such a laugh, and I love how Cam was like, "Oh, like Mr. like he thinks he's so strong, but doesn't seem that way now, does it?" Like I'm loving Cam's like chirps of Fessy, and I hope that maybe Cam will be the one to help orchestrate getting Fessy out. Just a thought.
Well, I thought that they were preparing us though. So because Lolo and Nam got some confessionals during this challenge. I mean, I know they were pretty much there in the end with Jay and Teresa. Like they were kind of battling out in the first heat. And so that could be one of the reasons. But I was like, ooh, I wonder if they're going to have more storyline in this whole get out of strong player type thing. I did think that Lolo might be going into elimination this round, just from the fact that they were be more visible this episode than they have been in the past couple. So round 2 happens, and I don't remember who was in each heat. But the final 2 basically was Big T and CT. And Big T was so scared. And like, you know, CT was trying to make her mean mug, and she's like, like it was, I love their partnership. I just love it. It's
perfect.
Heart. It does. Do you not like it, Fanta?
No, I do. I love it. I just like, I'm like, oh, there's like a lot that I want to say, but I can't say it right now.
You can't. Well, you kind of can. We're almost done this little section.
Well, it comes into my section, which is the section.
Okay, the club's coming. So basically, they'll have to hold on the second heat when, because it was basically who from each heat had the longest time that they were able to hold on to their partner. And Big T is tiny, I feel, and her name is ironic. And CT actually is big. And so I didn't think that he would have any trouble holding on to her for a really, really long time. And it didn't seem like they did. They didn't mention any times though, right? They just said who the winner was, correct?
Yeah. He was just like to Jay and Teresa, Big T, CT.
I would have liked to hear the times there, obviously, but
we're dying to hear times, MTV.
Why can't we get a timestamp?
I want to know how long it was. You never know. Like, it's like, because sometimes you're like, when they randomly give times sometimes, and sometimes you think it's like really, really long when it's like super short and vice versa.
Like, it must have been a big, like 30 minutes compared to like 7 or something, because
between Jay and Teresa, and
it must have been big that they didn't want to share. That's the only thing that would make sense to me at all.
Oh, really? Okay. Yeah. I mean, that makes sense. Because I guess if it was pretty close, he would have been like, it separated you guys. But
yeah. Like how they did with Anissa and Fessy, like the time difference between. So it must not have been competitive, we'll say, between the two teams. I don't know, but they still should have shared it. I would have really preferred that. Then TJ was like, go back to headquarters for the deliberation part. Did they been calling this headquarters, and this is the first time I noticed it?
No, they called it headquarters. They've called it headquarters.
Huh. Okay. So
I find it so funny how they like give TJ this terminology, like theme terminology, like every season, and he just like it seems so foreign to him to say. Like, he's just like, okay, I've got to deactivate an agent. Like, he's just like in his head, like, oh my god, this theme, whatever, let's do this.
He's like, it's better than the bunkers.
Yeah, bunker. Yeah. But these words are probably harder to like make it flow off your tongue.
Yeah, it's not like we're making it more
like, in his trailer, like memorizing his lines. So cute. Being like, okay, so I'm going to have to deactivate, like practicing.
Oh, he doesn't memorize shit. They're just telling him in his ear, and he's just saying it.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, that's easy too. So Big T though wants to give Big T the floor here in how, since there's going to be a girls' elimination, they both obviously won, but he's kind of going to allow her to have the reins here, especially because she's set up better than he is politically, and she's socially a lot better than him. So I was happy about that, and he basically said that his job was to protect protect Big T. So I love the blossoming of this partnership even more. But the part that we've all been waiting for is the party scene, party vibes. The song playing is Tell It To My Heart, Tell Me I'm the Only One by Taylor Dayne, who I didn't know who she was until she was on, well, spoiler alert, everybody, The Masked Singer, and I had no idea who it was. And
we were all waiting with bated breath on that.
Well, so I didn't know who, when she was unmasked, who it was, and now like I'm hearing about Taylor Dayne again with a song that I actually do know. So it was nice to hear it, but I was pretty excited about the party scene. So Fanta, take us off, please. Favorite part.
Okay. Since well, I mean, I feel like it's the part. Since Big T is now won, she wants everybody to refer to her as the queen. And she's got VIP at the club. People are coming. They're kissing her hand. Leroy's showing up. Like, is this the bottle that you wanted? That sort of thing. Which I thought was hysterical because I was like, you are the only person that would be able to get away with this in such stride and not have anyone offended, have everyone play into it, while you're simultaneously being a strategic mastermind.
Yes.
And it's so funny how Ashley called that in the confessional too, and was like, this is so funny, like how she's doing this and everyone's thinking it's really cute and sweet, but I can see right through it and I'm loving it. Like, I'm living for it. I think we're all living for it. So yeah, I loved that whole bit. I loved how she was like seeing people one by one and how she saw through Tori's shit.
Yeah, it would have been a great moment for Tori to like actually be real with her, but instead to double down and say, yeah, you know, like, I mean, I get it. She was kind of trying to sort of be honest and say, like, listen, obviously I'm going to vote in someone that I think I can beat in case I get thrown in. But by saying that, you're already telling her, I think you're going to throw me in. She could have tried a different strategy. Like, well, honestly, I'm kind of an open book right now of who I want to vote for. I'm sure you have a plan. And like, I know we haven't really been working too closely, but I'm willing to like create some sort of like maybe a couple week like thing. Like if I win next week, I would help you whatever you wanted. For me personally, like if I'm going to go in, then there's certain people maybe I'd like to prefer, but if I'm not going in, like honestly, I'd vote for whoever. Like just say whatever you need to say. Like I just feel like she's not playing, her strategy was just out the window.
All. And I totally agree with everything that you say. And furthermore, I think what dug her in a little deeper as well is that she's essentially like making Big T read through the lines, like read between the lines, because she's saying, I want someone I can beat. Well, let's fast forward to a few hours ago or a few episodes ago where you keep talking shit about Big T's friends. So Big T's reading in between the lines and going, okay, you're saying that you want somebody to beat, which are my friends.
And you keep calling her Little Amber, which I'm sorry is just so patronizing and rude.
Yes, versus So see, the thing with Tori is you haven't proven yourself, wasn't used until deliberation. She was only saying it because of their size. She's been calling her Little Amber since week 2. I mean, I guess though she's little compared to the other Amber, because I think the other Amber's like 5'9".
Yeah, but like be respectful. She's a human being. Like that's why she's reacting this way to you, because she knows you're calling her Little Amber.
I just find I think that there's like every season there's always, you know, like go after the rookies, but there is also a way specifically having to do with strategy. I'm not saying that in previous seasons people haven't been shitty to rookies. I'm saying that Tori could have been more strategic about it and not run her mouth in that way, because you could just throw it away and just be like, yeah, like let's, you know, throw the rookies in, like that's how we normally do things, whatever, and let it go. But she just kept harping on Amber over and over and over again, not realizing that she's simultaneously losing numbers on that side.
And also, like a lot of big players have been going out, so she's losing the numbers to these rookies. So she should have really kind of clued into the fact that like she needs to keep her mouth shut here, because if you're going to put this divide between like rookies, little people, big people, rookies, veterans, like you better have the numbers, you know, and you better not have a rookie get in power. And when the rookie is in power, or this person that you think is weaker than you, like say something that's going to make her want to keep you in the game. Make a freaking deal. Make a deal with the queen.
Literally anything. That was her time. That was her platform. And she totally screwed it up.
I mean, unless she was hoping that Big T was going to put in somebody weaker that she could go in and beat potentially. I think that that's what she was trying to allude to, I guess.
It was a terrible plan. And what Burks is saying makes a lot of sense, because Amber was fighting back to Devin and everyone being like, you haven't won anything. She knows that they haven't. So it's pretty clear that she at least knows who's won and who hasn't, and like more information, you know, even if she's being a little annoying about it, like.
But it makes her, to me, a slightly less annoying, know that if she's watched some seasons.
Yeah, we like a super fan, obviously.
Yes. Please, you check out Amber M's recaps on YouTube. Her channel is Spill the Secret. I've tried to watch it, but I haven't enjoyed it. Have you guys tried to watch it?
I didn't even know it existed, but I mean, I'll try it. I don't know if I'd like her as like a,
She's two other people that we don't know, I think. I think it may be her friends. I don't remember it being someone I recognized.
I'll give it a shot.
It wasn't, Burke says, also other news, Teresa Is Pregnant said this is her last season. Wow.
There's another reason why she said she wasn't going to do it again. Because she has to get a surgery and she hopes to be leisurely running by 2022. So she was basically like, yeah, long story short, no, I'm not going to do another one. I also just find that she just has seemed to be very uncomfortable this whole season. And she has also mentioned that it's just not fun anymore. And she feels like everybody, like nobody knows how to make TV. And she said that there was a part where they wanted to dress up as each other's partners and have like a party scene, but producers were like, no, you can't do that because it potentially could have been offensive. So I just think that, I mean, there's a lot to foreshadow that Teresa starts to get into some altercations, but I just think that she wasn't comfortable in the house, wasn't having fun, probably felt pretty limited in what she could do. Coupled with injury and pregnancy, she's just like, meh, no point in going back.
And I mean, like, she has like a decent partner in Jay, and like she has Anissa, and it seems, at least in this episode, that she's been smart enough to form a bond with the rookies to at least a point where they haven't voted against her yet. She's like, you know, she's in a good position right now. I think we can see it's probably not going to last that long. But I'm kind of excited for that too, because what we remember about Teresa is she also doesn't really back down from a fight. Like, she's down to like continue. If you call her out, like she's not gonna step back. She might cry, she might freak out, but she's gonna go for you as well. So I think that'll be some entertaining stuff for us.
Yeah, next week does look like there's going to be a little bit going on between her and Lolo, and both of those people seem to enjoy a little bit of an altercation. So
it's taking so long for Lolo to like have an explosion. Like we were seeing this happen, we were like, oh my god, Lolo's going to be yelling at people and like right out the gate, and she's just been, I guess, namatized.
That's possible though. He might have tamed the Lolo beast, you know, and maybe it's something to do with Nam that like gets her to pop off against Teresa. Like, I don't know what it could be. Really, it has to do with.
Here to see it.
Adrian says Ashley pulled a Tayshia by returning to amp up the season, though I have not seen the Bachelor Bachelorette. Okay, so what happened was Tayshia basically got brought in because the first Bachelorette chose her guy, and they're just like, okay, we don't really have a season if she's not even going on dates with the other people. She just only wants to spend time with this one guy. So they basically just like wrapped up her season in 3 episodes, and then they brought in Tayshia to save the day and finish the rest of the 10 episodes. So this is what Adrian is referring to here, Ashley coming in after a few episodes to come and save the day, hopefully.
And we're happy. Honestly, Ashley, it's so true. Like, hate on Ashley for sure. She's privileged. She's this, she's that. Her confessionals are some of the top notch. Even this episode, like, they're just random, but she just sounds funny when she talks. She's got good comedic timing. She doesn't take herself too seriously, but still is committed to, you know, like, I don't know. I just find her so entertaining to watch.
I do too. I mean, I've grown a lot from where I used to be with Ashley to where I am now. I hated her on The Real World. I was happy when she got kicked off. I thought she was despicable when she first came to the challenge, but she's wearing me down. You know, she's growing on me a little bit. It's kind of like I'm starting to expect her antics and allowing her to be who she is and not wanting her to be something else. I mean, it's like, that's just Ashley. It's kind of like Nani. That's just Nani. Like, love her or hate her, like, this is just who she is. And I'm accepting her for being how she is. And so that's why I'm now growing to enjoy Ashley, because I don't want her to be something different. Like, I'm okay with her being who she is.
Yeah.
Come a long way. Liz says Big CT is so awesome. They have a great vibe, not exactly a CTDM feel, but the same support. I get a Big Brother CT to Big T vibe. I also love that CT calls her Tula, and no one else is shown to. That's her real name, correct?
Yeah.
I think that they might be making out or something.
They're not. Honestly, I get it. There was that scene where he's got the wig and they're looking at each other and he's giving her his flirty eyes. But honestly, I don't think it's like that. I don't think it's like that. Like maybe, but I highly doubt it. Like she is much younger and it's just more of like a comforting, like, oh, I'm there for you. And like, maybe it's a little flirty. My opinion is it's not happening, but like, if it is, I'd be fine with it, you know?
Fanta?
I don't think it's happening. I don't really get
that. I want it to happen so badly. I want them to be like our couple.
He's back with his wife, though.
Oh, okay. I'm not up to date in CT.
Well, he just made a post that was like tagged her, and it was like date night. So I think that maybe they split up, but now they're like dating still.
Right, trying to work.
Like,
were they split up while he was on this season?
Yeah, because he entered an interview saying he was single, and he went into the season single. But now he's like, they're not, I don't know how together they are, but they are like dating again.
Would that mean that he like won? Because like if he won like $500,000, like he's going to look a lot better looking even if you broke up with him, you know?
Well, it could have been the other way around. I mean, who knows?
Hmm?
It could have been the other way around. It could have been him that was like, no.
Oh, I'm just saying though that to get back together.
Oh, yeah.
You know, allude to maybe him doing well in the challenge and him being a lot more, you know, could do a fancy date, you know?
True.
Saying maybe. I think that Josh is the kind of guy who is unbearable to watch. Just throw that in there. Yeah, anytime you can throw in some Josh shade, totally fine. Who are you shading, Michelle? Blaine says, dang, Michelle with the late night shade.
I mean, I shaded a lot of people this episode. Who did I shade the most? Always shading Fessy, shaded Tori. I don't remember who else I shaded.
Even Tori, when you're talking about her and Amber, well, her talking to Big T.
And Josh. I shade on Josh. I don't know. I throw lots of shade. Yeah, it's true. It's true.
I love though.
Meanwhile, I wouldn't even do an 18th of these challenges. Like I wouldn't even step my foot in the ring. I am being like, how dare.
Less credit than you should, because I think that you are a gamer and competitive, that even though you were scared, I feel like you would do it and you'd probably do better than you expected, you know?
Oh, I don't know, man. I don't know.
I have faith in you, Michelle.
Heights and water are terrifying to me.
And water too?
Like falling from a high distance into water. That's the worst. Okay.
Yeah.
Like Siobhan popping her implant, like that kind of vibe, not into.
One thing though I loved about what Big T was saying, I think she was saying this when she was talking to Tori in the club. She's like, I just want to do what the house wants to do. And I'm like, you are so good right now because the house wants you, Tori. Which I thought was great because Big T never lied to Tori really. And Tori, as you said, really fumbled here. She could have tried to build some fences here with Big T, make her not be as like a delicious target for the underdogs, you know, like she didn't work that at all. Even Nani though, like I thought that Nani was more in Tori's corner, but she had a confessional saying that like Tori's ego is through the roof this season. So we haven't even seen her ego be through the roof. So I'm very curious how she must be acting in the house. If I didn't think that it was through the roof, but if somebody that's in the game that's played with her multiple times before is saying like her ego is like up here, that ain't good.
She's being all flirty with Fessy, and Fessy's like all he has to his personality is ego. She's getting into that mode of showing off her ego. You know what I mean? Like it was probably
mimic her partner's bravado.
I think I think it has more so to do with like, I don't know, I guess a lot of them might just have like an unwritten rule between each other, like in terms of like seeing Tori and like Fessy, because I was like reading some stuff where people were like, oh, like Tori and Fessy like didn't do anything per se, but they were like cuddling and stuff. And like you can see when people are like into each other. Like I'm sure like a lot of the contestants like saw that and were like, and maybe it could have been a thing of like, it's so interesting how confident that you are to be doing this while you're still engaged. I don't know, just an idea.
Just an idea.
But, yeah, I don't know. I just to say, I know this is skipping ahead a little bit, but in terms of Fessy doing like a confessional later and just being like, yeah, like we just have a connection. And it's just, it's like, yeah, and that's the thing where I thought of, I was like, but wait, like, where would you have gotten that idea from? Like, yeah, Fessy is dumb as rocks, but also at the same time, like, there must have been something where he would, because to say connection, like, that's pretty big.
That's like with Nani and Casey last season. They had a connection and they were like cuddly all the time. Like there's obviously shit they weren't showing. We've also seen this week in the gossip in the tea that like Tori claims her and Jordan had already kind of broken up before she left for the challenge, but then they were like, okay, like let's see if the distance works. So they were like already on the rocks, and then they broke up about a week after she got back. So like there's that involved, but I also noticed that she never talks about him in any confessionals. Like she never mentions anything about her life. It's very like hush hush under the surface.
Yeah, definitely. It doesn't seem like she's in a relationship at all from what's being shown about her on the relationship, but it doesn't show her doing anything on the show like out of turn with like Fessy at all. But she's just not saying anything about a relationship, which I think is interesting also. So Amber, before they leave the club scenes, and Amber M confronts Tori here. You're here for it. Let me see. Tell me more about what you loved about this, Fanta.
Well, I just love how Amber just like went up to her and was just straight up like, you know what? Like, I'm sick and tired of you going and running up and down the house calling me weak. That is more so what it is. Like, was a matter of her calling her weak. And not like, oh, she's like little. It's weak. It's a weakness thing. And I am fully behind Amber for, first of all, going up to Tori and saying, yeah, I don't like you calling me weak. Like, you have not seen me perform, so don't call me weak. And I agree with that. Like, yes, again, through the seasons, we've seen people just throw rookies in to be like, okay, let's see what you got. Let's see what you got. But there's a big difference in between saying like, okay, let's see what you got versus you're weak. It's like, true. I totally thought Amber was like fully within her rights to do that. I'm glad that she did it. And yeah.
Yeah, I definitely think within her rights to be able to say something. I always prefer someone standing up for themselves. I guess the how of it wasn't in my taste, but the fact that she did it, it's fine for me. Michelle, do you have thoughts about it?
No, I mean, I thought it was bold. I certainly wouldn't have done that. I thought it was bold for her to come up to her and say that. And she didn't really go off too hard of what we can see of Amber, you know? She was just like, you're specifically saying my name, like, what's the tea? And Tori just kind of like backpedaled a little bit and was like, I just generally, of course, like you haven't shown yourself, like blah, 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 blah. I don't know. She just was so fake again. And just the way that Amber and all of that, Gabby, I think more so was talking about how, yeah, it was Gabby, about how like Anissa and Tori just like look beyond her, don't listen when she speaks, or just like, yeah, like are sort of a little patronizing maybe, or just kind of like, you're not really worth our time. And like back in the day when there were always way more vets, like that worked, but that's not obviously flying anymore. And I don't know, it's kind of nice to have it be called out.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think that Tori is one that should be like, I'm the best, because she's not. And so, yeah, it will be good for future seasons to have a little bit more gameplay on the vet side if they're not going to have the numbers that are going to be able to just be like, let's just take out the newbies. Let's just take out the newbies. So I think it's a good, like, setting the ground for future seasons just on how the dynamic is going to be. So I'm here for her making the move, or, like, you know, speaking up for herself. I think that it is important for her to not allow Tori to, like, talk shit about her. You know, I'd be annoyed if I was Amber. So
absolutely, especially if you've seen her performance in the last few seasons.
You're like, who are you to tell me I'm weak? Yeah. So when they get back to the house, Anissa's telling Tori's telling Anissa about the scenario when Amber was coming up to them, and they were kind of piecing together, like, oh, the worst case scenario would be if, like, it were me against you. And I was like, guys, you just spoke that into existence. Like, that is definitely what's going down, and definitely what's happening. Anissa's smart. Why didn't she clock this earlier?
Well, that's what I was going to say. It was like, and also too little too late. But I think that, like, Anissa and Tori's friendship, which has kind of blindsided me. I don't know, maybe you guys too. Yeah, very big question mark. I'm like, what? You guys are best friends now? Okay. But the thing that's like, that is, I think has been a pitfall for the two of them is that they've just gotten totally, like, in their own universe in the game. And I think that they just, like, are not really, like, going, okay, like, let's separate and, like, let's work the house and do this thing. Like, they're just like, oh, wait a second. Like,
you know what I think is kind of weird? I'm just thinking about this now. Like, that part where Anissa's all, you know, Tori's my rock. She's, like, such my great friend out here. And then I also have Teresa and, like, blah, blah, blah. But, like, she never made mention of Nany.
Well, maybe she's this with Nany for, like, the noodles, you know?
No, but, like, they got past that. And after the season, they were even just like, they're still fine. And I don't think they have, like, necessarily drama. But, like, I think Anissa was bothered that she was never one of Nany's number ones until her allies went home kind of vibes. Like, yeah. Anissa saw Nany higher than Nany saw her, I guess. So maybe once she watched it back, she was like, okay, I can't trust Nany as my number one. I need someone new. Okay, out of all these people here, like, Tori it just kind of worked out because Tori had a thing with Fessy, so she's probably all around their alliance at the same time, and it just kind of, like, blossomed into this thing.
So you think it happened on this show as opposed to before the season started?
I mean, a lot of people talk before the show, so it's possible that they also, like, talked before the show. But I think maybe things blossomed more once they got there. I don't know.
So Liz says that she enjoys Tori and Anissa's podcast. Tori feels more genuine there. I've listened to it a little bit. I wish it was a video podcast. I've only found it on, like, I don't know, Apple Podcasts or something like that. So just to listen, I do want to see them. Is it just on a regular podcast, or is there any video versions of it? Do you know?
I don't know. To be honest, I actually haven't watched it. I've just seen a couple clips or listened to a couple clips.
Wait, seen? Like, are they visual? Like, is it a visual thing?
I don't think it is. I've listened to it a bit. I've listened to a couple of clips, like Nelson not believing that Tori didn't have something going on with Fessy. That was pretty funny.
And so, but you didn't see him or them, right? You just heard?
Everything it's just been audio.
Darn it. Liz agrees with you, Fanta. Tori is a chameleon. Yeah, she does kind of morph into whomever she's, like, partnered with. And so I agree that she probably is doing this with Anissa, creating their little, like, see the house in a certain way and not actually doing the job of a strategic mastermind who wants to get to the end by having everybody on their side or being able to at least work everybody, you know?
Yeah.
Brooke says, I think that Devin underperformed in the daily and then pretended he wasn't giving his all. What do you guys think about that? Do you think that
he did? Oh no, pretended that he wasn't giving his all? Because he did say that he wasn't. Oh, I see what you're saying. That he performed badly and then pretended afterwards that he wasn't giving his all. I don't agree with that. I think that he purposely didn't.
Yeah, because I was thinking about this too, and I think that I think he said, "Oh, I don't want to do well for this one," but maybe not. Maybe I'm wrong. But also, if they won that challenge, like you know how if one of them wants to go in, they could go in. Like they have to go in that team if they're so if they were the power couple and the house voted in a weaker team, he doesn't want that because he wanted to make sure she went home. So I think he wanted to make sure they weren't in a winning position.
Yeah, he didn't want to win, and it was a girls' elimination. So yeah, I think that he wanted her to be an option, to be thrown in. I didn't think that he wanted them to have any power. I don't think that he would have beat either Jay or CT. So yeah, maybe he was just like, well, I'm just gonna throw it because even if I try hard, I probably won't win. But I don't think that he had intentions of winning this one. I think that he knew that he was gonna like just let her go. I don't think he cared. Liz says, Devin, I love to hate too. I waffle between hating and loving him. LOL. Yes, I love him. Love to hate him. I love to hate him. Did you notice how while Tori was leaving, she said, show some respect for Anissa. Then right after, he is trashing her in the confessional about her choosing him. Oh, Fessy, did he? Did Fessy?
I have a lot to say about this later.
We'll say it after. I'm just trying to catch these comments. Yeah, during the preseason, I heard it was a family emergency until tonight. Oh, I'm sorry. Sorry, Natalie. Okay, so this is some clarity here. So Liz says, according to Natalie, she got a bunch of tests, but no pregnancy tests until she was FaceTiming with her sister, who said she was trying to get pregnant. And Natalie jokingly said that maybe they'd get pregnant at the same time, and she was late, so production gave her a test. Okay. Adrian says, actually, Chantele, Ashley was your number one pick for the girls. Then Natalie, at least you got Ashley back. Oh, really? Thank you, Adrian.
You did pick Ashley first.
Okay, even better. I probably went Ashley. Yeah, I did Ashley because I was saying to you, because I was like, this is probably, you probably wouldn't expect this, Michelle, but I know that you probably would have wanted her. What?
And also she brings drama. She brings potential fights. She brings potential things. Like she's a good person to have on your team.
Yes. Calling me out though. Okay, Adrienne. Okay. Love by you. And where's the beast people claim she is? Oh, wait, exactly. Like we don't know where this Tory beast is. We haven't seen her in like 10 years, to be fair. Oops. They needed more girls? Yeah, no, yeah, exactly. Okay, so yeah, when I heard this tea on Ashley, it was originally said that Ashley and Nelson were supposed to come back after the amount of DQs, but the Nelson one was false. Well, we don't know that yet. We don't know if somebody else might get hurt and Nelson comes back.
I doubt it, just because they waited till 3 girls got disqualified or whatever, deactivated. So I feel like it would have to be a situation where like multiple guys get deactivated. Then I agree with you. Like maybe they have Nelson in a little area so he can come on back, which would be hilarious. But just based on like the hate, and Nelson did say he hasn't spoken to, I think he said he hasn't spoken to any of them. I don't know. Maybe I'm lying, but.
See how deactivated just doesn't really roll off the tongue?
Deactivated. Liz says, I was trying to decide if it would be Ashley or Jenny showing up. I'm glad it was Millionaire Mitchell is back. I didn't think it was going to be Jenny at all. I pretty much just Ashley.
Jenny's a snoozer. I love Jenny, but
she is a snoozer.
We love Ashley too. Okay. The season needed her. She's there. I'm happy that. Go ahead.
Sorry, we lost a lot of like good confessional people. So
and I'm also happy that Cam didn't get her way now in that whole scenario. Like, I mean, Cam has definitely faded to the background. She's not, as braggadocious as she was the first 2 episodes. And I'm happy that she didn't get her way because she wanted to get back at CT and Ashley for like being champs and like CT kind of burning her, and she didn't get her way. And I like that too. Hi, Esther. I don't know why they say Josh is good TV. No one wants to watch him. We know. We don't know what's going on here.
We know. We
Love how you said, oh, people actually listen to that podcast. I don't know.
Even Amber made a comment being like, I'm not going to listen to a podcast where people are just spouting lies, like and bullshit, like blah, blah, blah. Like totally shaded the podcast too. And I was just laughing my ass off. She went off on Twitter.
I mean, I know a podcast is supposed to be the audio, but I really like watching people. Like I find it more entertaining. So I wish it was an actual video podcast, a video log or whatever you want to call it. And right after Natalie left, you guys get it? Wait, what? I don't know. I don't get it. Yes, Jolene and Miranda, love those two. Yeah, they're one of my favorite combos of people. I'm probably gonna listen to them right after we get off here. Okay, I'm gonna jump off that. I don't know if this might be a hot topic. Tyreek says, but I miss Bailey and Davon so much. How do we feel about this?
I definitely miss Davon's quips. She's super witty and super funny. I definitely don't think Bailey should be on the challenge, which I think that she knows that as well. And I think she's made the right choice by being like, I'm not going to do this anymore. She was treated unfairly, I think, and everything. Oh, they have the same name as well. Teresa and Nani Gonzalez. That's so funny. We're kind of hating on each other. Well, to come.
I knew there was there's 3 people with the same last name. I know. I saw it. Thank you, Blaine.
What was sorry, what were we just talking about?
Bailey and Davon.
Oh yeah, okay. I would love to see Davon back. I agree. I don't think that Bailey should come back. And I don't think that either of them should ever do Big Brother ever again.
No.
I don't think they will.
I don't think Big Brother will either.
Big Brother is not kind to people of color. And I just hate to see them go through that kind of turmoil amongst that show. But I would love to see Davon back for sure.
Yeah, I'd love to see Davon back because she did a lot better in the challenge. And I think that because she sometimes she has really good reads in the Big Brother house, but she doesn't usually know how to use that information very well. And I think that she could use it a little bit better in the challenge now that she has more experience. And the competitions are things that she's capable of doing better at. The carnival game ones of Big Brother aren't for everybody all the time. And so I think she would do better coming back if she went on the challenge again. I'd be here with that. Bailey, I don't know if she's meant for it, to be honest. No, I don't think she's meant for it. Okay, wait, what? Teresa's last name is Jones now.
That's why.
Oh, it says Teresa Jones, but when I was looking at it, it said Teresa Gonzalez. Okay.
Well, last name's also Jones.
It's interesting. Anyway, that's what I remember just looking and be like, everybody says the same last name on this one. Adrian says, love how Jarrell says that he has height shock and cut to Nam being like, I'm ready for this shit. I love them both. I do love Nam. Him and Jay, they need their own spin-off show or something. This daily was recycled from Duel 2, which was called Don't Let Go. Oh, I don't remember that. Michelle's nodding. You remember this daily?
Yeah. It wasn't exactly the same, but yes, a similar grabbing on, dropping vibes.
Okay, so Liz has skydived several times. Bungee jumped once. Bungee jumping sucks with a jolt at the end. We'll never do it again. I would probably do it if someone was like, let's do it. I'll be like, fuck, I always say yes to these things, even though I don't really want to bungee jump. I would 100% do it if I was on The Amazing Race or something. I might second guess myself if I'm just doing it on my own free leisure. I would 100% skydive. And Michelle, you would do neither, correct?
Correct.
Even on The Amazing Race?
I would never go on The Amazing Race. I'm terrible with directions and I hate flying.
Can you drive?
No.
Okay.
I'm literally useless. I can do like memorization challenges.
And your metronome is perfect?
Yeah, that's like literally everything else I would fail 1,000,000%. Endurance, run, swim, do anything scary. Like, no.
Fanta, how would you do on The Amazing Race?
I don't think I do very well. I'm really bad at puzzles. I'm really bad at puzzles. I'm bad at directions. I can drive, but I can't drive stick. What else is there? I could do some eating challenges if there was that, which I don't think there is. I haven't watched The Amazing Race in a while.
Eat like the 100-year-old egg. Ugh.
Yeah, I think I could do that stuff.
Man. Oh, you love the gross food challenge. You'd be like, like, let's do it.
I'm that bitch. I love the food eating.
And you've already, you would never bungee jump again, but you'd skydive again, correct?
I've never gone bungee jumping and I will never do that, but I would go skydiving again.
So this is, okay, so Natalie said this again. So what's with Cam and Josh wearing the same shirt? I don't know. I don't remember that.
I don't remember what they were wearing, to be honest.
Me neither. It didn't stand out, whatever it was. It did not stand out. Okay, so basically CT's now trying to make friends with Lolo. So I thought that this was the foreshadowing that was happening from the beginning with having like the first few confessionals with Lolo and Nom. And I was like, okay, why is the storyline around them? And then CT's like, well, we're in the power position, me and Big T, like trying to make some friends with some of these rookies. So saying to Lolo, like, if you want it, let me know and give you the sign and we'll throw you in. And so I thought that was really good on CT to try to be making some new alliances here, spreading it out, especially with someone that's strong, because Lolo most likely would come back. And so having her on their side is going to be better, I think, than having them against.
Yeah, I thought that was so smart. It was a nice little side tidbit. And then he confirmed with Big T, explained it to her, and she even was down. Like, she wasn't so angry towards Tori that she's like, it needs to be Tori. Like, she was able to just look outside of it and the game as a whole and be like, you know what? If it works better and it's super physical looking and Lolo wants to go in, great. She still takes out Anissa, who's friends with Tori. She'll still be on our side because we gave her the thing she wanted to get her gold skull. But if we don't do it, it's okay too. Like, I thought that was a really nice extra little bonus for them.
Definitely. Yeah. Leading right into the deliberation. So Lolo is wearing her Olympic jacket, like, just reminding people who she is. That's intimidating for sure, seeing like the USA tracksuit. Like, it's pretty badass.
Yeah.
So this is where Gabby kind of starts defending herself with knowing that she's height challenged, but like doesn't mean that she's weak, and doesn't really appreciate how some people have been pointing that out as being someone that they could just throw in. And the only two people that were defending these statements were Anissa and Tori. And I was like, ladies, shut up. Like,
oh my God.
Right?
Yes. The whole time I was like, Tori, shut up. Anissa, shut up. Tori, honestly, shut up.
Ashley was so smart this time. She's like, I'm saying nothing. I'm staying out of the deliberation. I don't want to be an option. Nani knows to be quiet. Teresa knows to be quiet so far. Like, what are you doing? You're like, I knew they were already on the, at this point, they knew they were kind of like options, I guess. But at that point, whose mind are you changing?
Yeah, exactly. No, it was stupid. And it was this thing like that was kind of starting at the bar earlier where Tori is like backpedaling. And it's like, well, no, say something and stand by it, because you act like you're so tough all the time and like you're such a beast. So stand by it, but don't backpedal.
Exactly. I mean, I think that they could have really turned this little scenario around and been like, oh my God, I would never want you to feel that way. That's not where I was coming from when I said these things. I really didn't want you to feel less than. And I've done a lot of these challenges, and I was only kind of looking at people that have done more than others. And I'm really sorry that I really didn't take you into consideration in that way. It was an oversight on my part. I really apologize.
And I feel like I agree with you. And I feel like Anissa was kind of starting to do that and was like, listen, like, this is how it always is, like with rookies. But Tori didn't. Like, she just kept backpedaling like into a grave.
And if Anissa hadn't been so openly tight with Tori, it could have easily been either Nani or like it could have been someone else, because they don't necessarily see Anissa as like super, super strong. but they just saw her associated with Tori. So really, like, that kind of ended up fucking her over in the end.
She should have just let Tori fall. I know that they're friends, and so, you know, she was trying to help.
Chantele, please, they are best friends.
Right. Sorry. Right. Mimi, though, hi Mimi, has a point that I meant to bring up that we didn't talk about that annoyed me to no end. And I wrote it down. I don't know why I didn't say it. So Mimi got annoyed when Josh told CT to drop CT, you'll be safe. Like this.
I got so annoyed by that. You don't know that your time is better than Jay and Teresa's. You cannot guarantee anything. What are you doing? Your partner is yelling not to drop them. What do you mean? Like,
I mean, he's so dumb. So dumb.
I was so annoyed though, because I was like, I know that it's just because he's about to drop her and like he just wants to like make a deal and like, you know, at least maybe be better than Josh and Teresa. But Jay and Teresa. But like, I was so annoyed. I was like, shut up, Josh. Like, don't be promising CT anything. Anyways, I agree, Mimi. I was annoyed. I think these ladies were annoyed as well. It was eye rolled moment for sure.
I forgot about that. Oh.
I wrote it down too. And agreed. CT was not going to do it. CT was just like,
okay, fine.
I think it's a thing where like the serious players are like, stuff like that. Well, like Josh will do something like that and they'll be like, oh yeah, like Josh is still here. Like, no, dude.
Yes, Josh was desperate, and yes, definitely desperate for a win. He wants some power because he wants to like pretend that he's a big shot. I don't think he's going to get power because the way that things are working this season, it doesn't seem like he is going to be in a position where he's going to be the best out of everybody. I don't really see it. And Nani's not the best partner for him to be doing that with. So I can't see him winning a daily. Can you?
No.
Ooh, Paul says it was what by 5 minutes? 5 seconds? Oh,
that's
I don't
super.
Remember that. I don't remember that. I'm gonna go back and watch, but CT must have been counting or timing somehow how long Teresa and Jay held on because CT counted saying too loud. Seconds to hold on. Okay.
He was counting 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So like he made sure he was over the time. So he did have an advantage because I guess he paid attention to how long or was told. I don't know how it worked, but I think it kind of seemed like he knew.
Well, maybe like when like the moment when they dropped the floor, like maybe that is when he started counting time.
True.
And just be like, okay, I just need to count to 1,000 and just a little bit over and we'll be good. So that's what I think they probably did. Really? They were separated by 5 seconds?
I think he purposely waited till right after he knew he was fine and then dropped her.
Absolutely.
Makes sense. Weird that they didn't mention it though.
Exactly. We talked about this, but Big T talked about the club. Yeah. See, Sam feels some flirtation. I feel flirtation there.
I'm not saying there isn't flirtation. I'm just saying there's no dancing.
Liz thinks it's a big T, CT, big brother, big sister bond. Okay, I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised if something happened.
There's some people who are just flirts, and I think that like there's just some people who like. I mean, there's people in my life who we're like friends, but we flirt.
Yeah. Okay.
Like that's just like it's just like you just you vibe off each other, you love each other, but
doesn't that like also have like a little tequila makeout session when you're drunk together once,
Perhaps, but that's for a different podcast.
That's what I'm feeling. Carolyn has some tea here. So Nelson spilled the tea that Wes will not be on the next season because he will be part of the OG new season. Yes.
I did hear that as well. Yes.
Have you heard then, Michelle, when this OG season might be starting?
I think it's going to be season 37 and then OGs. I think they're going to overlap. I think that 37's coming before OGs, though. but I might be wrong.
Are you reading this, Michelle? Blaine?
No, I heard Svetlana's not coming, but Blaine, if she is, I will scream to the heavens. Like, honestly, I love Svetlana. We all know this. I don't think she's coming back.
Whoa.
My mind. I love Svetlana.
Definitely. We just watched the duel. So like she's back in my memory. And then I looked at her TikToks. Adrian says, update, just saw an unaired clip of Fessy making out with Ashley in one of the bedrooms. Ashley.
I mean, Ashley doesn't give a fuck. Like, that's hilarious to me. But also, we haven't even seen him make out with Gabby yet.
Yeah, when's that happening?
So, but that makes sense because in the podcast, Tori was saying like, oh, Fessy hooks up with so many people. Like, it's not, I'm not involved. Like, there's so many people, so many girls. So maybe that makes sense.
Maybe. That's the only reason why he's probably going to like do okay moving forward is that like people want to make out with him. So yeah. Adrian says they also saw Jonah. What was it?
Jonah,
that's it. And Jasmine on there. And Tina was in the yes column. Okay. I'm here for this. Definitely.
I did hear yes about Tina, which would be epic.
So back to the season, Liz is saying that she thinks that Tori and Anissa were in their own universe. Also think that Anissa and Tori underestimated the rookies. Well, underestimated the gameplay. They may have been able to take them out in eliminations. That might have been a possibility. But they underestimated them being able to get the numbers together, concoct a plan in order to get them to be going against each other, which is basically what happened. So they're going in there. Teresa burns her vote. Leroy burns his vote. Like all these burned votes.
Leroy voted for himself. He burned his vote on him and Anissa.
Which I thought was, didn't he know that that's how it was going?
Which I find it so funny because it's like, have you not learned your lesson, Leroy? Like, remember when Veronica like burned her vote on him?
Oh, she's so mad.
I think that he did that because he assumed Tori was getting the votes. And so he was trying. I don't know what he was thinking. But he knew Anissa was getting the votes.
Him should have known better.
Well, he shouldn't have put it on himself unless he was just trying to get out.
Even Devin put his on himself.
Well, Devin didn't care because if he goes in, he's pretty much assuming it's a girl's day, and Tori's going to go down, so it doesn't matter to him.
But for Leroy, it was like, why did you do that?
It made no sense.
It made no damn sense.
No damn sense. And I wish they didn't skip through that part for us. Like, okay, I get it that the double agents, they can only see the list of who voted for the compromised agents for a short amount of time. But can you just allow us to have 10 seconds just to be able to see who people have voted? Like, do I need to like take a photo and pause it so I can know all the information of who voted for whom? So
that's what I was just thinking. I was like, next time we need to take pics.
I'm gonna take a pic. Cause like I've always think that I'm gonna know, and I'm like writing it down, and then I'm like, okay, no, I don't remember. It's too many. Goes too quickly. So Anissa and Leroy end up being the compromised agents, and yet we knew that was going to be happening, and we knew that it's going to most likely be Tori going down there, or maybe Lolo if she feels as though she can take out Anissa. So we're going down to the crater, and there's basically 5 gold skulls up for grabs for the ladies, because many women have gone home and the guys have just been doing guys' days. And with Natalie going home, her skull is back up for grabs. So it's definitely going to be a ladies' elimination, probably for the next 2 or 3 weeks. Do you think that they're going to still alternate a little bit, or do you think they're going to be like 3 weeks of women?
No, they're going to alternate because they need to get rid of a guy next week so that Devin has a partner. I think they're gonna do guy next week, and then they're gonna do a double elimination teams.
Mm-hmm.
Because at the end of the day, it doesn't matter when you do it. The point is there's 5 for each. 5 for male, 5 for female. So if the men get to theirs by sooner, it just means you have to get it from someone who has it. And it's just gonna make things like maybe a bit more Sneaky.
Yeah.
You probably won't agree with me here, but I wrote down, I'm like, I kind of want it to be a guy's day. Amber M is so annoying. Well, because she was like, sometimes I hate when people get their way, you know? I guess because I wasn't rooting for her that much. I was like, ugh.
I was happy.
And I also wanted Leroy to get some like just desserts for like putting himself in. I was like, that was a dumb move.
True.
So I kind of like wanted it to play out that way. But Big T is not afraid of calling her shot. She, when asked by TJ, who do you want to throw down there? She's like Devin and Tori, and definitely CT supported his partner and said Devin and Tori. So Cam recognizes that BFFs have been going against each other with Wes and Devin, then Fessy, well, I don't know if they're best friends, but Fessy and Nelson, and now Aneesa and Tori, which is, it's important to recognize that like maybe you need to kind of keep your close relationships a little bit secretive so people don't think of you as a duo that you want to separate.
Yeah, that is very true, because it's not only like you're not just a duo, you're actually a foursome, because you're spread out between two teams that are not going to call out each other's names. So that's a bigger spread.
Did you like how Amber M made the heart to Tori and Aneesa when they went down?
I didn't. I felt I was indifferent about that.
Oh, it annoyed me.
I'm sure. Did it bother you?
Yes.
It didn't bother me.
Yeah.
I was like, get it. Take your win right now, because like, you know, like she deserves to feel some validation for that. Okay. And like, she's going to be petty. Great. Like, she's going to have something.
Well, I guess like I really like when someone ends up like I would have rather her go in and being like, I'm gonna go and I'm gonna take out Tori, or you know what I mean? Like that would have been the kind of scene that I would have preferred to see. It's kind of like she gets to be like, got you, but all from the bleachers, and she's never actually gone into an elimination, you know? But
well, I mean, but also at the same time, like Tori could have done that too, right? Like she could have been like, okay, you and me, let's go. You know, and like Tori has been saying for how many episodes, like, I think you're weak. Well, if you think she's so weak, then why don't you say, hey, everybody put us in, let's go.
I mean, she should have done that.
She should have done that, but she didn't. And then she ended up against Aneesa. So I don't know.
Smart enough to do that. I think she was.
There were just so many issues strategically along the whole path for Tori and Aneesa as well. Ending with Aneesa's final choice after this elimination. Just like a slew of poor decisions.
Yeah. Anyways, good riddance, I guess. So what they had to do, though, here was, did they name it, this crater? I don't remember seeing the name, but basically they have to have a crate full of 13 seemingly heavy balls that they had to pull to a certain point. They had to, I don't know, unlodge it so that all the balls fell out. And then there was 13 targets that they had to hit on a board. It looked like it was going to be something that Tori was going to do really well. And Fanta, you're really excited about how this went down, it seems.
I have a shit-eating grin because I was cackling this whole time because Tori has just been running her mouth this whole season about how everyone is so weak, and she couldn't even get the cart to the line to tip it over. I think she did. She was able to get it, but she wasn't able to actually like tip the med balls out of the basket. So I think she had to take it back and then like bring it back again to get the momentum to like actually bring it back.
It was insane how long it took. Insane. She didn't change strategy. Again, she's pulling from too far away for so long. It takes her forever. And also like the fact that Aneesa did it so easily and so quickly was like, I was like, there has to be something to this. Cause like, how much stronger is an Aneesa than her? Like she was able to just do it.
Producers kind of sabotaged her?
No, not at all. I just think that once again, Tori has terrible strategy with elimination. She does not use her brain. She's like, boom, boom, boom. It's like when she was trying to hit the things through the thing against Jenna, and she's like trying to shove them in, and Jordan's yelling at her like, no, smash it the other way. Like she doesn't think things through in the moment. It's like, okay, if it's far away, why don't you get your hands closer up to the top and do like use your knees and your legs to pull down to try to get it to flip. Like that's what Aneesa did. I just didn't understand her continuing to pull from far away.
It's not going to be the angle to get it to fall.
Yeah, it was so obvious it was not going to work
this way.
Yeah, she does the same thing over and over again and expects different results.
Exactly. Yes.
Well, I was getting worried for Aneesa because when she started getting tired, then she started doing this like backwards throw thing. I'm like, the key is to not waste energy here. Like, take a second and aim it, as opposed to think that you're expelling less energy by tossing it over your head and missing. So I was like annoyed. I was like, oh, maybe Tori's going to catch up, because she eventually did tip it over, and she did seem to have a lot more speed with throwing these balls.
Way more speed.
But definitely Aneesa had, probably about 10 balls ahead of her. So it was going to be very challenging for Tori to catch up. But I was worried that it might be a thing when Aneesa started doing this like backwards throw. And then when she's making the confessional saying like, and I look over and I see my best friend over there. And like, I was like, oh my God, is she going to like lose this for Tori?
The thing is, like, I don't understand. Like, she was 10 ahead. And then by the end, Tori had 9 out of 13. Mm-hmm. Went from 0 to 9. Tori was so far behind. Like, Aneesa, my issue is that I think she has it, and I'm so happy she did it, but she needs to have more of a sense of urgency.
Yeah.
Like, oh, I'm winning, and like, blob. It's like, girl, run. Like, get that urgency. Like, I know you're tired, but like, you didn't pull this thing for as long as Tori did because you were more efficient and you did a better job. Like, I just feel like she needs to just like pick up the pace.
Yeah, I think that's what everybody's always like worried about with Aneesa, is that she doesn't have that urgency or that fight or that fire. And that's kind of why they don't want to run the final with her, because they're like, they don't want her. She doesn't give up, but she doesn't give all the time. And so I think that is what people are more so being like, oh, I don't know if I want her on my team, because like, I'm going to have to motivate her just to like finish. Like, they want somebody that's going to be more fire. And so I understand them not necessarily allowing her to get to the final and these things. I don't think that it's the case. Like, I think that just like allow her to do her own thing, allow her to get to the final, allow her to prove herself in the final. And I'm hoping that she will get the chance. Like, I really would like this to be her season, that she just gets to run a final. She doesn't run a final in probably like 10 years. Like, let's just have an Aneesa in these finals. I don't think that anybody's going to go and try to take her skull. Do you guys think that?
Not necessarily, because at this point, like, even if we think like the stronger people, like, okay, there's 4 more skulls. Say Lolo gets one. Say, like, I don't know, what other really strong? Say Casey gets one. Okay, yeah. That's 2. There's 2 more left. At this point, it's kind of a free-for-all fight between like. Ashley maybe gets one, then maybe it'll either be Nani or Teresa or whatever. So it's like, at that point, if you're going to try to take someone's, the only person you're not going to try to take is Lolo. But like, I would probably try to take it from Nani before Aneesa, just because. I don't know. I love Nani, but depending on what the challenge would be, like, I feel like. Well, and anything to do with strength, you have or like one-on-one, like anything. Like, I feel like Nani's an easier person to beat.
Well, and TJ did call out Aneesa being like, "What is that? Your 10th elimination win?" Which is a pretty staggering stat. Like, I don't know how many she's lost.
She's won more than she's lost.
That's a lot. That she's pretty good at focusing enough to be able to beat the person that she's going up against. So I think that that's scary in itself. Like, hearing that stat, and she's just, a bigger person, that she's just going to have a lot more power, especially if it's going to be anything that's physical at all.
And she stays calm under pressure, unlike some of the others.
It's true.
There's probably going to be another woman. There's going to be a women's hall brawl. There's got to be.
Mm-hmm. So Liz loves how the rookies are just not lying down, and she found that the heart to Tori was hilarious. Oh my god! Okay, oh my god! Other people. So Blaine always has the tea. It says that very likely Arissa.
Arissa Las Vegas, Real World.
That's not her. That's not her name, though. I don't think.
It's one F, I think.
Kellyanne, I remember Ruthie. Okay, Trishelle. That's Tina. That's all so far. I mean, I'm here for seeing all those people come back for sure.
Oh, Trishelle.
Oh, did they say it like that?
What's that?
I'm just trying to. I just don't remember Arissa.
Arissa from Real World Las Vegas, the first one.
Is that how you say her name? Is she not the girl that was dating Alton, the other girl?
Yeah, she wasn't dating.
I almost remember. I don't remember right now. So Carolyn says that Devin said that the reason he had an argument with Amber is because she lied about not voting him in. Okay. When Nelson told Devin that they voted him in, Devin also said that they had a practice with the drone. Oh yeah, I did hear that they were able to practice with the drone beforehand. And so it is surprising that everybody did so poorly last episode because they did get to practice.
They got to practice and they were still bad? Okay.
Arissa Hill.
Okay. I remember she was really pretty. I don't fully remember her though, but I remember that's a good season. Maybe I'll go and do a rewatch.
The first season of Real World Las Vegas is it. That is the be all end all for Real World for me.
It's so good. It's definitely probably the best. All the Las Vegas were top.
Yeah, all the Las Vegas ones were good. Except, I mean, Go Big or Go Home was a bit insane and disturbing, but it was
that one's on like MTV.com.
Yeah, that's when that racist girl was in there. And TJ kicked her ass, and it was awesome.
Yeah, no, I do wish that they still had the Real World because I did like watching it, but I think that they can't really compete with the drama of like the Housewives and just like Bravo in general. That it's not the way that reality TV is going. They want all this drama and all these big fights, but then they also, what they were doing before was having 7 strangers living in a house, like where they didn't know anybody and they're all come from different walks of life. But now they kind of have to be a little more careful with the people that they put in these situations. So I think they're being a little bit, hesitant.
By the way, guys, here's the clip of, you can't really see it, of Fessy and Ashley making out under a towel. I love it.
Oh my god.
Always on it. Michelle, what else do you got here?
That's it right now.
Fessy. I love how
it's true though, they do need more diversity. So yeah, with Janae and Jasmine being there, I think it's helpful, obviously, for the diversity. They didn't have as many people to choose from as they do now in the past. But hopefully they'll be able to find a lot of people just to make it more diverse. What were you going to say, Fanta?
Okay, I just wanted to talk about one thing. So Tori losing, which felt really good. But the thing that like really annoyed me so much is when she was leaving and she was like, everybody put respect on Anissa's name. That made me so annoyed. And I was just like, shut up, Tori.
You're ruining her game.
Shut up. You're not. And I think I just feel like Tori did that in a way to just gain points because she had just been like talking shit about all these girls and saying how weak they were. And then she just lost and she's just kind of doing it to like save face. I think there was a portion of her doing it to save face for sure. I mean, they are best friends after all, but I think there was like a part of it where she's doing it to save face. And I was just like, just stop. Like, I guess people are saying that she's genuine in her podcast, but I just find that she just comes off like so disingenuous. And I thought it was hilarious that Devin was like, bye, see you next year.
No love lost there.
That's exactly how I felt. How Devin said is how I felt.
I was rooting for Aneesa. I was just like, Aneesa, get it together. Don't lose right now. Brooke says that Aneesa definitely lacked some urgency, but to be fair, the lower scores were easier to break through, and Tori did those first, so it was theoretically very easy for her to catch up. Fair. But I was just worried with the confessionals and Tori's ego on the line, and I just wasn't sure how it was going to play out. And so I'm happy that it went the way that it did, because I did want her to get a little bit of humble pie there. I did want Aneesa to get her skull, and someone's going to have to come and take it from her if they want it now. And that's always a better position to be in. And I feel like there's not a lot of people, as we kind of already mentioned, that would be willing to go to her to take the skull. So there's just going to be other people that will be able to get it, that won't be as scary as doing a hall brawl against Aneesa. I wouldn't want to do that. I would want to do this kind of competition against her, because I feel like that's something that it was a classic kind of competition where you can do well no matter what size you were. And so I like that as kind of an equalizer competition for the crater. Did you guys like it?
Yeah, I liked it.
I like that competition a lot, for sure.
We've been talking about it too, the wheelbarrow one. I like that one too.
Yeah, they smash the bricks through the thing and then fill the wheelbarrow, and then I like ones like that because they're such nail biters.
Yes, and you can you could do well, but you have to be consistent. I like when you are able to have some strategy behind doing well in these things. I don't want to be pulling on a pole. That would not be an elimination I'd want to do at all. I would not want to do hall brawl. I would not want to be trying to throw the medicine ball in the middle and get tackled. Not at all. But I would do one of those ones. This would be kind of fun. I cut you off, Fanta. Were you going to say something?
I would love to do a hall brawl.
Really? Well, you like football and stuff. I don't like football.
I don't like football.
Did you see tackle, or is that Casey?
Yeah, that was Casey. Casey used to be a professional football player. Fessy was almost drafted into the NFL. So it was interesting because that's been kind of disputed a little bit, because people have been like, how close did he really get? And people were saying that he was just actually waiting for a phone call for him to come to a camp, but he was never in anyone's sights to be drafted. Wow. He's just kind of had this narrative.
He's been closer than many, a large percentage of people.
I mean, yeah, but I don't know. I guess he was making it seem like he was
drafted.
And then he got injured and all crumbled before his eyes. And now the challenge is his light and glory.
Blaine is really coming for you with the stats here, Michelle. So Blaine says that he says 10 wins and 10 losses in eliminations.
Wow.
Still a good number, though.
Okay, you know what? I did not know that it was that many losses as well. So, hey, I mean, it's even.
So if Tori would have gotten the balls down quicker, she would have probably won. Aneesa was a bit slow, even with the head start. And I think the urgency wasn't there because she was going against her friend. Kind of like how, West didn't really have the urgency as much as he would if it was somebody that he hated. And so I think that might have played into it as well. But I'm happy that she was still able to win. Jeez Louise. Liz says this is going to be so weird to gain skulls for the women for the rest of the season. Yeah, I mean, I'm here for it though. I want to see how these rookies, they made a power move. They got out Tori, awesome. But they're going to have to go in and get their skull eventually. So I am here to see how well they do and who they decide to go up against. Because, are they going to be like, well, I don't want to go against Cam, so who am I going to go against? Nani?
True. Also, before I forgot to mention Cam. I believe Cam would be a scary person who, once she gets a skull, you wouldn't want to take it from Cam. I think people would take it from Aneesa, try to take it from Aneesa before taking it from Cam or Lolo, for sure. And then maybe even Casey.
Yeah, they might not want to go for Casey.
No.
Either. No.
I mean, it really depends on who gets the skulls next.
Well, that's the thing, is that I think that the Lolos, I think the Cams are going to now be like, you know what? I'm going to take this skull from Amber M. You know, like they're going to, I think they're going to have to do it. I think that's what's going to go down next week. I don't think that the rookies are going to have the numbers again to be able to do that unless Big T wins again or somebody from their side. I just don't know if they'll have that power again.
Yeah.
Blaine also saying the guys are very likely to include Ace, Brad, Derek, Big Easy, and Cyrus. Okay.
I've heard all that too, actually. Yeah.
I'm interested. I can't wait for it. So season 38 or 37 addendum, you know. We'd like to see on next season. I like everybody. I don't know. I'm actually pretty happy with how they've been casting lately. I've been feeling it.
I definitely want to see Natalie next season, 100%. She needs a win. I need her to be there for the whole way. She's unstoppable. So she's like my number one pick. I'm going to want to see Jay again, always. Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of people I like, but.
Probably easier.
Go ahead, Fanta.
It's probably easier to say who you don't want.
True. Nicole, Josh, Polly.
Don't want Polly.
Bananas.
Don't care. Yeah.
Like, yeah.
I'm indifferent about. I can't believe I'm saying this. I'm indifferent about Nicole. Like, I was sad to see her go in the way that I was like, I would have liked to see how she would have done. But I can go. I think Tori needs to take a break.
Yeah, I think she will too.
And figure out who Tori is on the inside.
I don't think she is capable of that. I feel like she needs a show and she needs a guy. I think those are two. Like she's codependent on both these things, it seems, and they're both kind of intertwined into one. So I don't break.
I would be lying if I said I wouldn't be interested to see like Fessy and Tori do a season together. And to be completely honest, I hope that Fessy turns into more of a villain. I feel like we need a villain. We were like, D was taken away from us. But I feel like we need a villain. I feel like we just like need somebody who can actually win and is like also like a nasty player. Like I really missed having someone that I like love to hate.
Honestly, I'm going to have to disagree with you here. If we're going to have a villain back, I will take Polly over Fessy any day as a villain. I will take Gross Brad as a villain.
For sure.
I will take Bananas as a villain.
Yes.
I will take a lot of people before Fessy because he has yet to show me that he can actually win.
True.
That's true. But I don't know. I guess I don't really see Bananas as a villain. I also don't see him as like
hero.
A hero either. Like I guess he's like kind of like an anti-hero, but I don't really see him as like a villain. But yeah, I don't know. I guess it's been like so long, like we've forgotten the Polly abuse that we're like, yeah, let's have Polly back.
No,
I had Rogan as a villain, which was gross.
Who?
Rogan.
Wes used to be like, you know, some of them have had phases of being kind of villainous. But I think we can bring someone new in. Like, I do not need Fessy's gross energy.
Now, I was talking to Tanya today, and she brought up something very interesting that I didn't think of. And so she said that she would love to see Jordan and Fessy back together on a season and have a redo elimination match now that Fessy's with his girl. And, you know, he lost last season in the elimination against him. So it would be maybe nice to see a little reprise here. I forgot about that.
Yeah, that would be great to see. Unfortunately, I don't think we're going to see Jordan for a while, if at all. But he would definitely kick Fessy's ass if it was anything that wasn't a complete disadvantage to him, you know?
Yeah, it wasn't like a pole wrestle for sure. Jordan would kick his ass. But yeah, I don't. After like Jordan recently did like an Instagram story and he like looks very sad.
People look sad.
So yeah, I don't think he's going to be around for a while. That would be tough to be like trapped in a bunker-esque situation with your ex.
Yeah, I think he's just over it. He has so much success going on in his life right now, and MTV doesn't want him on the show right now because of his problematic behavior. And there's no reason to bring him back. Like, I don't think he's itching to get back. I think he wants to get back to redeem himself for losing last time at some point, maybe. But also, he kept talking about how he wanted Tori to get her win. You know, he's already won 3 times. He has a reputation as one of the greatest players, not the greatest, but one of for sure. And I don't think he needs to come back.
I don't care to see him, to be honest. His storyline is played out for me, but I wouldn't mind seeing that rematch of you know, it could be good. Could be good, especially if Fessy loses to Jordan after. Like, that'd be very just desserts. So just at the end of this episode, so what I loved Ashley was being like, I just wanted to make sure that with my loud, annoying redneck voice, redneck accent, that Aneesa coming back into the house hears me screaming for her. So I thought that was great strategically, just to make it known that whoever came back, she was rooting for you all the time. And so Aneesa did come back. She took out Tori. They have a little bit of a moment on the ground where there's kind of like, it's okay, you do this. Like, I would rather lose to you than someone else, which is true. I'm sure that she'd rather lose to her friend than, like, imagine if it was like Amaram that she ended up losing to. Like, she would not be able to, I don't think, stomach that. So, you know, it was a decent loss for her. And I love Aneesa saying, like, this old bitch still got it. Yes. She still got it. Enough to get a gold skull, which I'm definitely happy about. And Devin is now a rogue agent because Aneesa steals back Fessy. So what do you think about that move?
Boo. Horrible.
I think, though, it could be a good move because they both have gold skulls and he's also intimidating. So if it gets back to the point where they don't know if it's going to be a men or a women's elimination, the people will be like, if it's a man, I don't want to go against Fessy. So let's just kind of avoid that duo now. So I think it could allow them just to be a little bit more untouchable. So I'm not upset in that regard, but I was like, he's not the choice draft pick. Like, nobody.
I don't know why she keeps thinking that he's the best choice for anything. Like, he's not. And to be honest with you, now that Hall Brawl for Guys is gone and not an option, I don't really see Fessy having the upper hand.
And like that one's gone.
Elimination.
Yeah.
Because even if it's a grab a stick strength, if they have 2 hands, if it's Jay, he's got a good grip on him. So as long as it's not combat, now that that's out of the way, I don't know, man. I think Fessy could get thrown in and lose. And also, I hope. And like, I think it's scarier for the girls because, as you said, there hasn't been the female Hall Brawl yet. And it could be something like Lolo versus Casey, which would be like 2 strong women, like, see what happens. Or it could be like Amber M versus Cam, which is just like, Cam's like, walk over you, bye. You know, like, we don't know who's gonna. That's like a scary one to like maybe get thrown into.
I agree with you, Chantele, that like I could see it being like a move of like, okay, we've got both skulls in his size. I think it's a bad move in the way, like Michelle is saying, that yeah, he's not a draft pick. Like, yes, he's really big, but he's also proven that he's not good at a lot of things. So I just don't understand why she keeps picking him. It's just like, it just doesn't make me feel good to watch Aneesa pick somebody who has openly disrespected her.
And she said that, like, he's hurt me.
Yeah, like, he's been mean to me and like all of this stuff. And why are you picking this fucking guy? Pick Daryl.
I didn't want her to pick him, but she's also came in first twice together. And so I know one of them, people just allowed them to win, sure. But maybe people will still do that because they know they can maybe sway who they get put in and stuff like that. So I don't know. There might be more going on that we don't know about. Obviously, for me hating on Fessy, like I didn't want her to make that choice, but I think that she thought more about it than, you know, than we're seeing.
It wouldn't have been an off the cuff decision for her. Like, she's not an idiot. Like, she obviously has her reasons behind it. Especially since, like, Leroy voted for his own team. Like, I don't think Leroy for her is like the most solid partner. I wish she could have picked Darrell or something, but honestly, if she'd picked Darrell, it just would have put a target on his back. And he's like chilling in the background right now. And like, this is where he needs to be so that he can make it as far as possible. I hope he gets a skull too, but like,
same. I think he will. I thought it was so funny though that like Leroy was like, "Come home, Casey," and Casey was just like, "Whew," and they like went back to
yeah, she did not like being paired up with Fessy, even though they're in whatever alliance together. Hilarious. If I can catch up on some of these comments. So Blaine says they're leaving to quarantine for the OD season next week, so filming probably starts in February or March. Wow.
Well, I guess OG's happening first, clearly.
And like another regular season of 37 is so, but we don't know when it's going to air. They might air it after, but
it could also be a situation where
some people are
the OGs, it's a different host.
Right.
Just think about it. When it's Cancer to Stars, it's a different host. It could be like The Miz or something.
Yeah.
Or who was like the host like of like a long time ago before TJ came on?
Wisely?
I don't even remember, but like
Mosley.
I kind of remember. It's just so old school, but maybe they'll do that. That'd be amazing.
That would be very funny.
Liz says, cracking up, Anissa reclaimed Fessy and he wasn't for it. Deal, Fessy. Both of you have skulls. Right? Just like, deal with it, Fessy. Like F off. Mimi, Anissa was definitely being a pick-me type of girl. I would assume, I bet like her wouldn't take back messy Fessy. I think that she just wanted to feel safe with his size. Even though he sucks, we know he sucks. I think that a lot of people still wouldn't come for him. And if, say, Corey wanted to come for him, he wouldn't do that to Anissa, I don't think. So, I don't think. You think? Oh, okay. So when will we need to get into it? I don't know. Coming soon.
I feel like Corey's gonna lose steam on that.
Yeah.
Being pissed at Fessy.
That's possible. Liz says, I just don't know how the format for the rest of the season, the women getting the skulls. Yeah, I think you're right probably with how it's going to go down. Maybe it's going to be a long episode. Maybe it'll be a double episode and there'll be two and they'll go like guy, girl, and then the next week be another girl because we need more girl skulls just to keep it slightly even.
But I also think regardless, it doesn't matter if it's even because at the end of the day, if the guys run out of skulls, it just means when it's the guy's week, you better get someone in the elimination who already has one, or those guys are competing just to stay in the house, but you're not going to get a skull.
Well, so then why does it matter that they brought back Ashley?
To make it an even amount of people, right? Because they'd have too many girls leave, right? And so now it's even again in terms of the amount of guys and girls. So now there's one extra guy. But what I'm just saying is like, it doesn't really matter that there's only 1 out of 5 compared to 3 out of 5, because whoever gets 5 out of 5, like if the guys get 5 out of 5 first, which they will,
but then
keep competing.
Might run out of guys though, and it would just be like girl week after each other, right?
But no, because you won't run out of guys. Like you'll still even it out and still alternate every single week. You could easily still do that. It doesn't matter how many skulls have been used, because once the skulls are used, I think you still compete just like normal. It just means you got to take someone who already has one. You can't go for someone who doesn't have one.
No, I know. I understand what you're saying, but I feel as though at one point, like it's possible that they run out of guys. Like it'll just be like 5 guys left with skulls and 8 girls. You know what I mean? Like that's what I'm thinking that might happen. So just running like down the road, I think that it won't be even number of people left over if they don't do an extra girls one next week. You know what I mean? Or the week after. But I could be wrong. I mean, like, I'm not going to die on this hill, as Rob says to you said.
It was, I I just had to check this, but Johnny Mosley was the
Thank
host.
you. What does he look like? You show a picture?
What's that?
You show a picture?
Yeah. I think they should bring him back. I mean, unless it's gonna be the Miz. Like,
What?
I would love the Miz.
You guys both don't watch Love Island, but Carolyn is saying Johnny, Trey, and Jeremiah from Love Island are doing the next season of the challenge. Oh, I kind of remember him.
Yeah, I've heard rumors of Johnny really wanting to be on it, but honestly, it's so early to tell because even when they quarantine, a chunk of them don't get to be on it. Jenny quarantined up to the day before this time. Like, I would be surprised if these people get in. Maybe Johnny because he'll cause drama.
Hi, Ella. Ella says, I want Amanda back. She's a good competitor and a good villain.
She's a good villain.
She's a villain. I don't know if I feel like, oh my God, okay, Natalie, I can't get behind you here. I don't think, Ed, this is a wanting to see Zach as a villain podcast.
Zach is like a full-on diehard Trump supporter. So if they're not going to have D back, then
no,
they won't have that D bag back.
Also a villain in real life. So.
No bueno. Purple suit Polly. No, never again. I despise him. We all do.
We all do. It's true.
Who likes him? I'm just going to bounce through a couple more of these. Is there anything else from the episode, guys, that you guys want to talk about? Pretty much. Oh, Paul had it before. I didn't see this yet, but Paul had it for you, Fanta. Mark Long. No, I think Mark is going to be competing in it, no?
Yeah, Mark is going to be competing.
Yeah.
I feel like that was...
will host, like, you know what I mean? But I think that Mark wants to play.
Compete. Yeah, I think he wanted to play with his old friends.
Yeah.
Surprisingly liked Casey this episode. I liked her a little bit more too. I think I liked her because she wanted to go back with Leroy, and I was happy about that.
Yeah, I hope she just breaks off from like the Big Brother people completely. I just hope that fractures.
Me too.
What's Balls In, Natalie? I don't remember that one.
I think Balls In is the one where there's two like of those like garbage containers.
Oh,
or like
what he did with and Rogan.
Yeah, or there's two versions of that. There's one where it's two, right? Or
yeah,
is it one? Yeah, I think there's two, and then there's the one with the one, and Rogan and Jay did that recently.
Right. So maybe we'll see that one again. I don't know. I feel like I like the ones personally better that like people of different strengths have an opportunity to win, like the one that we just watched. Blaine says, would you want to see Paul from Big Brother on talking about the villain? Why not take on the biggest? I don't know if he's a villain in the sense that I like. I can't stand Paul at all. I would like to see him just get demolished though. Sorry.
I have met Paul in real life.
You heard the story, Michelle.
What's that?
Michelle's heard this story.
Has she?
Oh, yeah. Sorry, I forgot.
I have met Paul in real life, and he's very little. Like I'm 5'7", and he was shorter than me. Like he has this kind of thing. He's a very little guy. Like he's smaller than Paulie.
Paulie's another little like, you know.
So I don't know how that would go. He was nice enough for a while though.
Actually, and he's non-binary, so I can't say he anymore. Sorry, they were.
That.
Sorry to misgender.
Nice.
Pardon?
I just said they were nice enough. I just had to correct. I wasn't aware.
I know it's hard sometimes. It's new. Well, new-ish. Adrian says, just to say my comment earlier, Natalie eliminated Ashley in the first episode, and then tonight when Natalie was DQ'd, Ashley came back. What goes around comes around. Yes, Adrian. Oh yeah, I did see it, but then we weren't talking about that anymore. That was perfect though. We could definitely button it up with that. It definitely was full circle. I said like I like the fact that Cam didn't really get her way that whole week. It makes me feel good. I want to see Ashley back. Anything else about this episode that you want to chit chat about?
It was a good episode, and I think shit's gonna hit the fan a little bit next week. It's another guys' week. Well, maybe it'll be a double. Maybe like who knows what they're gonna do. It's kind of exciting that we don't really know. Like, as much as I can say this is how I think it's gonna play out, we don't really know what they're gonna do. I think they didn't even really necessarily know, and they're kind of figuring it out. So yeah, I'm pretty pumped about it. Scared for Teresa. Looks like she's gonna be getting into some fights. Hopefully she can pull through.
So Adrian's just pointing out some sweet moments. Now I'm cheering on Jay and Teresa. I love that. And Jay kissing Teresa's helmet when she was nervous. That's very cute. We gotta love him. Do you want to do a little update on who got some points today, Michelle?
Oh yeah. So the points for today are pretty simple. We've got 5 points apiece to Fessy, Corey, Josh, and Tori for all being part of that fight.
Did you see what Fanta did?
What?
He fully Sharpied out Tori.
Yeah. That's 5 points. So you feel like these points are still accumulating, right? Like, so, and then daily win, CT gets 5 points, and Big T gets 5 points. I think I have Big T, don't I?
Probably.
And then Anissa gets 10 points.
Those all your points?
No, I've got more. I think I'm missing points for Josh.
You definitely are missing points for Josh.
Everybody's points. I just need to. What's this? What's the tally? Sorry, Michelle. Finish what you're saying. Sorry.
I finished. Yeah. That's it. Anissa gets 10 points for elimination. I didn't calculate last week, but Josh was in a fight last week. He's been in a fight every week the past 3 weeks, so you've gotten 15 points at least from him.
Oh, and this one, Big T's mean face was so funny. It's really cute. They're adorable. I love the two of them. Next week's episode is called From Teresa with Love. Oh boy. If it's like really going to be based on her, like, I hope
it doesn't mean she's going home.
It means she's coming out on top.
Hopefully.
Yeah, I agree. Adrian, Nami is definitely Mr. Congeniality, 100%. Teresa's content. I'm really excited though to see what happens though, because like, you know, we want to see new storylines unfold. We don't necessarily just want to be vets against newbies. Like, I want to see what's happening. So I'm hoping that she doesn't go home with this. I hope it's not a Lolo versus Teresa. And if it is, Teresa stays and takes out Lolo. That would be epic.
That'd be so epic to take out for anyone to take out Lolo. Ooh.
And Lolo seems like she's itching to go in. So, okay. Hi, Rosalie. I haven't watched a season yet, but please tell me Corey is still in it. Well,
Hopefully.
Nobody ever.
What's keeping you so busy that you can't watch?
It's so good. Rosalie, it's so good. Please watch and then like catch up and then join us next week. So I'm not going to spoil it for you whether he's in or he's out, but it's definitely a good watch to binge. If I had 5 episodes to binge, I'd be so excited.
Ooh, and there's something that's going on right now called the pandemic. So it's not like we have anything else to do.
True. We are on a state of emergency right now and lockdown for the next 28 days starting at midnight. Or starting now, I guess.
You
guys have another one?
State of emergency.
Yeah, but don't worry. I still have to go to my non-essential job.
Yeah, I know. Our other friend Tanya was saying, like, yeah, I'm going to be working still, just the same.
It really doesn't change anything for me other than I can't see anybody.
Right? Like, I can't go gather at home, but I can go work at a store.
Which is the hardest part, because it's like that's where you get to like blow off steam from having to deal with the public, and you can't.
I'm just going to listen to them, and hopefully things are going to be done. So people quickly catch up. He definitely has improved himself in the first episode, 100%. Like he adapts, he adapts, and he learns the game that he's playing, and he figures out how to do well in it. That's what he's a master at. Like, yeah, he went the wrong route by pissing off Cam, but he's really, I feel like, moved into the background in a sense that nobody has been talking about CT. So I think he's done a really good job, and I think him being with Big T is really good for his game.
Definitely.
And next week, Daily is a mini final. They send the preview. Whoever wins, I will put a target on them. I love a mini final. That would be amazing to watch.
That gives such an opportunity for people like Ashley, who's good at endurance, people like Teresa, who's pretty good at endurance, people like Lolo, of course. Like, there's a lot of options here for a win. So that's exciting.
Yeah.
And the likelihood is Fessy won't win.
Yeah. That's what I really like about that, is that like people who haven't really had a chance to like shine through, especially like Nom and Lolo, like endurance is going to be right up their alley.
Mm-hmm. Very interested to see that. Rosalie says she's in Vegas. We don't have a lockdown. We should, but don't. Yeah, my dad lives in Vegas, and he's not happy with how his state has taken on, COVID, the country in general, but definitely.
It's such a nightmare.
Definitely. Blaine's starting school next week, like in school, or is it online learning? Like what? School's not good. Adrian just wants to chirp you a little bit. I hope your team stays strong. Eva laugh, Gemini karma.
How dare you? How dare you?
Bunny. We do too. I need to name something Hawk and Fuzzy Bunny. It's very cute. And will Cam and Leroy survive to the end? Don't think so, but I would love to see it. Okay.
I don't know. I'm starting to think it might happen, but I don't want to get my hopes up like that. You're right. It doesn't. I don't know. There's a lot of games to be played still, so I really shouldn't say. But right now, they're doing okay.
What does that say, Fanta?
Ashley back on the draft.
Yes, thank you for writing my name back down there, my person.
I agree with you, Michelle, and I think it'll be really interesting to see this mini final, because that'll really give us a good idea of like who is really gonna make it. Because if Casey and Leroy shit the bed next week, then that gives all the information that we need to know if Leroy can really secure this win.
And
Yeah.
I also really want to see these newbies. Like, I like Gabby. I like Amber B. I like Big T. And, well, Big T has proven that she has a lot of heart. So I kind of take her out of that mix, really. But, like, she's kind of in still with these new players from the UK, especially. And so I would like to see how they do in something that's going to test them in multiple ways, most likely. It's going to test them most likely in a puzzle. Maybe there'll be an eating challenge. Maybe there'll be a sleep deprivation challenge. Like, we're going to see a lot more things. What are you laughing at, Fanta?
I just want an eating challenge.
I know. Maybe you'll get one. Maybe.
I just want an eating challenge, because I would love to see Fessy eat something gross, because
I feel like he would chicken out. And
I don't think he can do it. I don't think he could do it.
Adrian is siding with you here, Michelle. She says, go Team Michelle.
Yeah, my team's doing really well, to be honest, in terms of not being eliminated. In terms of actually owning competitions, not so much. I do have a win from Devin, but I still have a lot of people in the game. I've got both Ambers in the game. I've got Big T in the game, I've got my Queen Nani in the game. A lot of people that are going to make it pretty far. I have Leroy and Jarrell. I just don't know how many of them are going to make it all the way. That's yet to be seen. But
so Adrian feels like a rookie's going to win this season. I don't think so. I don't. Okay, last one. Yes, they'll make it to the final. You'll be shocked who else is in the final. This person always comes short every time. Oh, okay. Carolyn, I hope
we don't do spoilers here. We don't do spoilers here.
But I don't really know what that means. I'm not going to.
Yeah, me neither.
I agree. I want to see the itty bitty committee do well. I do as well. I want to see how they do in this next week's challenge. It'll just lay out the land to see whose team is doing pretty well. Like, it's going to put targets on people's backs to see, like, oh, like, let's watch out for them, or maybe we should take this person out. Oh, I didn't expect them to be able to perform this well. So it's going to be really good to see what's coming up. All right. But we've talked for way too long, even though I could talk about this for forever. I'm happy to be doing it with you too. So thanks for hanging out. Oh, and I forgot to show you my new toy. Hold on. And if you haven't already, please subscribe right down over there. We're trying to get to 1,000 subscribers. We're over the halfway mark. We can't do it without you. We love talking to you guys in the comments. Definitely enjoy. No non-spoilers though. Speculations, yes. Tea. Things that don't affect the outcome, but spoilers, we like to be spoiler free just so we can go on the journey with most of the viewers. So do you have anything coming up right now other than staying at home and working at your non-essential job, Michelle, that you want to share?
That's literally it. I'm eating a lot of food at home and I'm not really going outside except for when I have to go to my non-essential job. But don't worry, things close at 8, but we already did, so.
That's right. It's like nothing's going to change, really.
Yeah.
Liz, thank you for joining us. Good night, you guys, and you too, Fanta. This war is not over. Wow. You should have moderators in the chat. Is that you? Or are you taking up this role, Blaine?
Yes, Blaine. Blaine is organized. Blaine is factual. Blaine knows the stuff when it comes to this.
And it would avoid me to like putting a spoiler up by accident. I hope it wasn't a spoiler. I hope it was a speculation, but I don't know what I don't remember what it was. So
it could mean, honestly, what they said could, to be fair, mean quite a few different things. So it wasn't a direct spoiler. So we're not upset. We're just warning for any. Because
I don't know what we were talking about when that was posted, so I don't actually know what that means. But the last part I can kind of speculate, but that's usually what happens anyway. So I wouldn't be surprised by that, but I'd rather just not know. So thank you. Wait, Ella says, Fanta, there was an daily show showed. Okay. Yay, Fanta. Okay, so take like ample notes here. This will be your segment, Fanta. And do you have anything else going on these next week, or that we want to join you on a journey here? No?
Join me on a journey. No, I'm obsessed with Peloton, and I have been watching I've been binge watching Search Party on TBS. That's my current life right now.
Oh, Night Tea, thank you. Nice podcast. Love tuning in and listening to you. Well, we love having you here. Speaking of Pelotons, though, I think I want to get one too, because there's been so much product placement in The Bachelor that I'm like, maybe this is what I need in my life. Maybe I need a Peloton. Maybe I need to start watching podcasts or watching like reality shows on a Peloton. So it is something that I want to bring into my life.
Can you tell me what that is, though?
It's basically an exercise bike, but the whole part of it is that on the screen there's people that are doing virtual classes that like you can log into virtual classes, and it could be real people teaching these classes, but it's just kind of like the bike is like $2,000 and it's kind of a membership into this like Peloton thing, and you get probably unlimited videos and then opportunities to take live classes.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, all the teachers are freaking gorgeous.
Oh,
there's something for everybody. Every class that I take, I'm like, oh, I'm in love.
Wait, should I do this for you now? Oh, I don't have that option right now, Blaine, but I'll look into it. Okay, Blaine? Because that's not actually true. When I click on your name, it doesn't say you can assign them as a mod. But I will do that for next week. So I love you guys. In the shapes of amber. There you go. To Tori. Brutal.
Bye.
Fun. Bye, everybody in the chat. Bye, guys.